why you need to have some of this.
It's done after this.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know.
I am not interested in being around grizzly bears. The bear caught up to the moose and broke its back. Just bang! A fucking giant beast just running through the camp. It's literally like a machine that crushes moose bones.
Okay. Okay.
That polar bear smells that man's meat. Have you ever been to a furry convention?
Oh.
You think you finna top me?
She got some crazy things,
What?
bro.
Don't you do it.
It's
This
like
is what it looks like when a man does not give a fuck.
Try to shoot me even.
They're like real good at stomping. You gotta stomp the fucking shit. Oh my god. This is my most fun podcast ever.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Flagrant. First guest app, you know we had to start out with a banger. He is the only Joe that should be running this country. Okay? He is a man with a leg kick so hard he could snap Lizzo's thigh.
Wow.
You've seen him on NBC. You've seen him on UFC. You've seen him on TRT. He is the man, okay? Stone Cold, stuck in Austin himself. It is Joe Rogan, everybody. It's officially in the motherfucking building. Let's go. My brother.
You guys have overcomplicated the podcast. You had a good thing going on. What's up? What's up? You guys had a fucking normal, simple thing. And you're like, no, we need wireless mics. We need introductions. We need 10 minutes of silence before we go so we can get dead air time.
I walked out of the bathroom and Joe's just going, there's really no need for all this. I think podcasting is better.
It's better. You've overcomplicated things.
You have.
Yeah.
We have.
Well, everybody wanted to be on the Tonight Show, so you made your own Tonight Show. Look at this.
For you,
You got
though.
fucking stage lighting and shit. This is hilarious.
But you kind of did this. That's the thing.
But I didn't do
He's
this.
just doing that so you don't think it's a bad idea anymore.
Exactly. This is
He's
your
just
fault.
trying to flip you on the idea. He doesn't mean that. He doesn't
This
mean
is
that.
all you.
What did I do? I didn't do any of this.
Yeah, you did nothing.
I didn't do
You
any of
did
that.
absolutely nothing. No responsibility whatsoever. Joe, we have a little bit of a debate that needs to be settled.
Oh.
Because the last time we all hung out, Mark was with us after the fight. You remember we went to the fight
in Phoenix.
and we
What
sat
happened?
down at a great steak restaurant.
Oh, they
Great
didn't give me
place.
shit for this, first off.
And
You
you
ordered fish or something?
what we thought could be worse. Okay, we're sitting down. You get the tomahawk.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody else looks at the menu and they look at the most expensive thing and they go, I'll just do one below that out of respect for Joe, who's going to pay for this dinner, as you always do.
Oh,
Don't
I
do
see.
this. What are you doing?
Mark,
Why are you doing
Joe goes, it's sitting like this. It goes Joe and then Mark. And then Joe goes, oh, the tomahawk. And then Mark doesn't even wait for the waiter to come over. He goes, double it up.
Run it back, okay? I trust this guy when it comes to
Double
steak.
it up.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see where there's a problem.
Thank you.
It's a expensive steak.
Oh, you don't think Joe can do that? You don't think Joe's got it?
We're having fun.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. You can't think like that. You can't think like
Flip
that.
that on you hard.
You cannot think like that.
Andrew, you've been hanging out with me too long.
Yeah, I think that's a...
Yeah,
You
you
said
can't-
it super nasally right there. I think you're chewing it up for Joe on the show right now.
You should never think like that.
Okay,
It's
now-
just a restaurant. It's not. You're not buying Ferraris.
Yeah.
You know, like,
But we could
buying
maybe.
steaks
We-
for
yeah, we-
people. You going buying steaks for people? Who gives a fuck? You're supposed
Now-
to drink, have fun, order wine.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
Now, Mark was a little
Spend that
disappointed
money.
that you didn't finish your steak, bro.
Okay, all right. I didn't say it like that. I didn't
He
say it
did.
like
No,
that.
you did say it like that. You did.
don't
I'm
do
an
that.
objective guy, and you were like, I finished it. And I thought about finishing his.
I didn't know it was a
just to run it
contest.
up.
I thought we were just having fun. I left a couple of pieces of meat.
You did bring it up. You were like, man, I could do 2 of these easy. And I was like, all right, well, if you're going for it, I'm going to go for it. And
I
then,
did not say I could do 2
come
of
on,
these.
Joe, come on.
Bro,
No,
You fucking people have the weirdest things you focus on.
What do you mean, you people? What are you people?
You guys, this cruel human being. You're focusing on
What do you
how
mean?
much a steak costs,
That's it.
and then how much did you eat? Did you eat it all? You didn't eat it all. I can't wait a month to talk about this. You didn't even eat it all. Oh, when he gets on, the first thing he's going to talk about is how much he ate a month ago. fuck is wrong with you guys? You changed this into like a regular studio. You've abandoned all the rules of podcasting.
That's right. We have.
What are the rules of podcasting?
There's no rules.
You abandoned your studio
There's
too.
no rule. Yeah. It's a great studio. We ordered all kinds of food that didn't get eaten. There was desserts and all kinds of shit was flowing around that table and lobsters and.
Nah, I'd be pissed if I paid for somebody's food and they didn't eat it.
Well, you got to let that go, bitch. There's things to be pissed at in the world. You know? Nuclear
Name one
war,
thing- no.
famine,
Not
disease.
famine. They
Yeah.
could eat them fucking lobsters y'all left hanging out like assholes.
But they can't because you kill it and you have to eat it, within a certain amount of time or it's not good anymore. Let it go.
We appreciate you so much for coming,
Yeah.
Joe.
My pleasure.
Now, you're in town for a day.
Yeah, I'm just in town for you, man. I'm supposed to be going to Atlantic City. I'm going to Atlantic. I brought cigars for everybody. I'm going to Atlantic City tomorrow. I'm doing Atlantic City with Hinchcliffe and Hans Kim and Joey Diaz. We're doing this new arena that they got down there.
Yeah.
So that's Friday and Saturday. So I'm here on Thursday just for you, my friend.
You're the fucking
Thank
man.
you, man.
My
And
pleasure.
did you have to move the Lex combo? Was he cool with that?
Yes. Yeah, he was fine.
He's a legend. Thank you very much, Lex, for doing that. I forgive you for being absolutely shit-faced at my wedding.
As a plus one.
He was shit-faced at your wedding, but he was way more shit-faced in the 12 hours I hung out with him after the wedding.
You sent me a video of him just knocked out, dude, like a homeless guy.
He was annihilated.
It was brutal. And then some weird gig that you guys were at.
Yeah.
It was like Whitney's corporate gig.
Yeah.
I can't believe you even went on.
I'm good, thank you.
Get the fuck out.
All right.
You get the same thing as the host. You know what I mean? Thank you so much.
Okay, we got
What's
a
wrong with you?
cutter.
I'm good, he says. I'm good. I'd rather be straight edge and just be upset about food. I just want to sit around
He doesn't
here and
even eat
complain
steak.
about shit that means nothing.
He's not even allowed to eat steak. He doesn't
What
even do
means
it.
anything, Joe?
You're not allowed to
Cancel
eat
culture?
steak?
Come on.
Oh, that's right.
Indian.
Yeah.
Forgot you're Indian.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a drag, dude. That's right. That is a bullshit ass rule.
I ate steak before. I've eaten it.
Oh.
I don't miss it.
Let's try the cigar, bro.
No, he's trying to put it.
You don't miss it?
I don't
Let me
miss
get
it.
that shot.
I want to see Akaash try that.
How
bro.
do you not miss it?
I don't know. I don't miss it. I stopped eating it when I was like 12, and then I just never found myself. I would have like hamburgers and stuff on accident, and then my brother told me veal was deer, like an asshole. And I ate it, and I was like, this is not good. What is this? It's mad fatty. I'm not into it.
Wow.
Is there any animal you won't kill?
Yeah,
eat,
I wouldn't
rather?
want to eat a dog.
Why not?
Because they're cute. I like them. They're fun.
Giannis Pop has had this like crazy explanation why we have this connection to dogs. They helped us develop our frontal cortex or something because they protected us in the night so we didn't have to stay up. So predators didn't devour us.
There's an argument for that. I mean, we definitely turned them into dogs. It was basically the bitch-ass wolves. The bitch-ass wolves that didn't want to hunt and, kind of like cowered and, submitted themselves to us, and we'd throw them food, and then they would bark when other things come near. That's what happened. That was the process. A Chihuahua is a fucking wolf, which is wild.
Yeah.
It's like it started out as a wolf, but through selective breeding, they figured out a way to turn them into Chihuahuas.
And why can they breed like with close family members?
Well, they can breed with dogs, I mean, the
No,
same
but you
way
can breed
people
the same family of dogs.
Yeah, well, the same way people can. You can fuck your sister and make a kid.
but then it becomes retarded, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't,
It becomes Chihuahua.
it's not definitely, it doesn't definitely become retarded. It becomes retarded when there's a lot of inbreeding, right? But people have been inbreeding forever. I mean, look at the English family, the English royal families.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever see those paintings of those old dudes like from back in the day on the walls?
No,
Oh my God, they're like horrendous. They all have like distorted faces and
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
because of inbreeding. Because they would only have sex with other royals.
They had all
So
like
years
hip
and
problems
years
and
years.
shit, and like their bodies were all
Yeah.
fucked up.
but it didn't affect their intellect in any way?
Oh, it definitely did.
Yeah, probably did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, how could they run countries?
Because they were a monarchy. They were in charge already, just like Joe Biden. I mean, you think about it. How could he run the country? He can't even fucking count, right? There's no idea what's going on.
100%.
When he starts banging out numbers,
Dude,
I
it's the
tense
best.
up. Like, whoa.
Oh, I get excited. It's my favorite thing.
That's a perfect example of like, if you just get into a position where you're already in power, people will protect you. They want to keep their jobs. And they want to keep that form of power.
Because their safety is dependent on your power. So they just keep you there kind of as a puppet.
Yeah, and then they manipulate you.
That was my theory about George Bush Jr.
Yeah.
They had him there, and they're like, he'll let us run the country the way we want to.
Well, look who he had for his fucking vice president, the CEO of Halliburton.
Yeah.
And they did the most transparent shit of all time. They gave Halliburton billions and billions of dollars in no bid contracts. No bid. So no one's competing. No one's going, I could do it for less.
Right.
And they did it for shit that they blew up. So they would blow things up, and then they would hire Halliburton,
To
his
rebuild it.
company.
Yeah, exactly.
And he had stock in Halliburton. So he was profiting off of the United States rebuilding shit that they blew up because of his decisions.
Have you met with people that are in these positions of power now?
No.
Never?
I've avoided it.
But they've tried to meet up.
I've had some opportunities to meet some people that I don't want to meet. Yeah.
And
Like, no thanks.
how do you say no thanks to the people that do whatever they want?
You just don't respond. You ghost them.
You ghost.
The CIA is hitting you up and you're just
You
leaving
left
them
me
on red.
Joe. Come on. I don't, I think by this point in time, they probably don't want to have anything to do with me. But I think before, like a lot of the controversy and the Spotify stuff, they were looking at the podcast as a way for people to get on there and have a chance to shape the narrative. You know, and I'm a friendly guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm not trying to play gotcha with anybody.
Yeah.
When people come on, if they say they don't want to talk about something, I say, no problem, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm just interested in having a conversation. And so I think they would look at it as like a unique way to manipulate public information or public's concepts on things.
So if they're doing that with you, they're definitely doing it on Facebook. They're doing it through news, through everything.
There's no question about it. They're doing it with everything.
Everybody's compromised.
Well, there's the problem is the people that are actually doing it are also aware of it and upset by it because it also affects them. So you got people like Edward Snowden who get to a certain point in time and he goes like, what the fuck are we doing? And then he goes public with this.
Right.
And now he has to, ironically, live in Russia and hide from the United States. But that was, he's that kind of guy because he's an internet guy.
When did you know you were big enough that people could use your platform to manipulate the masses? Was there a moment where you're like, somebody hit me up and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm big enough that I need to start being watchful or wary?
I just it was like a slow burn. You know, over time, I figured it out.
Yeah.
It wasn't like right in the beginning, early days, I'd have anybody on. Oh, Holocaust isn't real? Come on. Tell me more. After a while, people started getting mad, and I was like, okay, I don't agree with them. Jesus Christ, I have to have people on that I only agree with? This is going to get boring. Yeah.
Is that a thing you seek out? Like, I want people I know I'm going to disagree with, at least early on? You'd be like, well, that's the only way it's fun.
No, the only criteria is, am I interested in talking to them? So I get like hundreds of requests, right? They all come in through the email. And I look through them and I go, where'd this guy go? He walked across Antarctica.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one. I saw that.
I've had a couple of those. I got another guy coming on soon that's done some wild shit like that. Like those, like it's just got to be interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like I had Kristen Beck on this week.
Okay.
She was a male Navy SEAL and then became transgender. And then they have
Is this the one that
documentary,
Shapiro and
Lady Valor. No, the one where he was threatening.
Yeah,
she was threatening.
Grabbed Shapiro's neck.
No,
Shapiro goes, that's not very ladylike. I thought that was a pretty good line.
No, he's hilarious. Ben Shapiro's a funny dude. This is Kristen Beck up there. So was a Navy SEAL and then decided to transition and become a woman. And, but just super honest and open. And, you know, it's so odd because used to be this badass dude with a beard and now she's got fake boobs but looks like a man.
Yeah.
Like dresses like a man. Like full, like I don't think is like really trying hard
Right.
to look like a woman, just looking like herself.
Does she talk about that?
Yeah, she doesn't try to hide her voice or anything. She's not like what's the chick from Theranos?
Elizabeth Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes. Yeah.
She's my favorite. It's her amazing voice. It's so amazing. Yeah, that's
Wait, so you spoke to her already?
yeah, I had her on the podcast this week. She grew up in a small town in Texas and always felt wrong. Always felt like she was in the wrong box.
Yeah.
Always felt fucked up.
Yeah.
There was no manipulation. No one was grooming her. It was 100%
Yeah.
just how she felt.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you got to realize, man.
Yes.
Everybody is different.
Yep.
You know, there's a spectrum. This motherfucker doesn't even eat meat.
Exactly.
Look at
I'm
him
basically
over there.
trans.
Yeah, basically.
At least Kristen Beck eats meat.
Yeah. Lots of it, I think.
So we had Derek Poston's favorite porn star,
Yeah, I
Daisy
know.
Taylor, right? And that was the first time I had like extended conversation with a trans woman. And by the end of the podcast, well, not even by the end, but I was like, no, this girl is a girl.
Yeah.
We had her boyfriend on, who said that he had done gay shit before, and he's like, but when I'm with her, it doesn't feel gay. Now, if you've done the gay shit,
You know.
Yeah.
No one knows better
how
than
am I
him.
supposed to disagree?
No one knows better than him.
Exactly.
No one knows
Right?
better than him. I'm down for people to do whatever the fuck they want. That's why you need to have some of this.
What is that?
Oh, okay. When Schulz smokes, have you ever been around Andrew when he smokes?
Don't fuck this up.
Do it.
Take a hit.
Fucking
Take a
A.
hit.
The whole podcast is.
Yeah, it's about to go downhill, but it's fine.
That's a real blunt. That's
Yeah.
the real shit. That stuff is nuclear.
You're gonna have to take the reins after he does one of these.
Woo! Let's go.
Last time we smoked, we were in Vancouver, and then he
it
just
went out.
took a
Where's
lamp.
the ice? Let's
Yeah,
go,
boy.
boys. Let's go. Come on.
Remember when you just took the
Dirty
lamp in the
ice
green room?
Let's go. Let's go. How come there's only 3 glasses? Who doesn't drink?
I don't
No, he
drink.
really
Oh,
can't
you
drink.
son of a bitch.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want one? You got one?
No.
Why doesn't he have a drink for it?
Here, give him that one.
Drinks around.
All right, we got single malt whiskey right there, and we got tequila in front of you.
Okay, where's the whiskey? Whiskey. Yeah.
Right there. Al, you want to throw me an ice cube?
Sure, sir. We're not doing this.
Yeah, you can grab it.
Strong ass hands.
Oh, thank you, sir.
We're
Shit
not
might be
doing the
contagious.
first podcast in the new studio sober.
Thank you.
That's fast.
When's Alex Jones coming on?
So when he doesn't go to jail.
I don't think that's an option. I don't think the jail's a possibility. I
Really?
think it's just money. Yeah, it's mostly money.
Wait, really?
Get in there, babe. Get in there.
Oh, here we go, Schulz.
It's done after this. I just want to let you know.
Okay.
Oh no, you can do one more.
I just want to let you know. That's fine.
You're already high. Look at his eyes.
It will hit, and you'll just know, and it is what it is.
I know already.
we're gonna
Yeah.
I like watching you get peer pressure. This is awesome.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Akaash.
I've never smoked weed in my life.
Do it.
How will this treat
Do
me?
it.
Oh, you're gonna be perfect.
Yeah,
It's
you're
gonna
gonna
be
be
amazing for you.
fucked.
You don't have to drive, right?
No.
Then go ahead.
All right.
You're gonna be.
I feel like I'm being pressured a bit into this.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I'm definitely
All
pressuring
right.
you.
If I smoke weed, it would be with y'all.
I'm
though,
100% pressuring you.
So. Okay. All right, there you go.
I take full responsibility.
How deep
Okay.
do I? All right.
Take a big hit.
Oh, he's gonna cough.
I'm like
Get
a
him
real
water.
virgin.
Get him
Take
water.
a-
I got asthma.
Take a real hit.
You're gonna see Krishna soon.
You probably have asthma because you don't eat meat. That's not a hit.
That wasn't a hit.
Now,
dude.
what the
that
fuck
wasn't a
that
hit.
was?
That was some real pussy ass shit. I'm being honest.
eating beef tonight. Munchie's gonna kick it. Woo.
There, that was a hit.
Okay.
Maybe.
You gotta run that back in a little.
We'll see in about 20 minutes.
Oh, that's a good one. That's it.
Oh, whatever, bro. Who cares?
People that care about what people eat don't care about what people smoke. The rules are different here in New York.
Okay, Joe. Before I get too high, we have a weightlifting question for you.
Okay.
Al is incredibly diesel with his arms. Actually has to not lift weights or else
They get bigger.
they'll get bigger. He has to actually not lift weights.
Wow.
But his legs
Will not grow at all.
Yeah, what
will
can we
not
do?
grow at all.
What do you do to try to make them grow?
Squats, deadlifts.
Really? They won't grow at all?
Stop it,
Swear to
bro.
God. Consistently works out.
Yeah.
And the arms doesn't touch.
Yeah.
Well, look at John Jones.
I never
John
do
Jones is a great
bicep
example.
curl, nothing.
John Jones is one of
Al's
the
not
most-
like that at all with his girl. Al is like an amazing guy to his girl and everything. What were you talking about?
I meant about his athleticism. John has tiny
Gotcha.
calves.
Yes.
They're tiny. They're like almost non-existent. It's the craziest thing. And he works out fucking hard. Nobody works out harder than John Jones. Just powerlifting, deadlifting, squats.
Yes.
calves are still tiny. Tiny. Like tiny calves. Like it makes no sense. Look how little his calves are.
Yeah.
Like you can see there, they're so small. And he's got like literally the perfect frame for fighting because he only has muscle where he needs it. He's got shoulders, he's got arms,
Yeah, you
he's
don't
got
need the calf
he's got
muscle.
thighs. He doesn't need his calves. He's so long. It's like he's designed in a lab. Like if you wanted to design a perfect like physique for fighting, I think it's John Jones. And he's a master at distance. He's the best at using this gift that he has, which is being very tall for the weight class, is incredible, like for keeping a guy away from them.
You think if he fought Ngannou, he'd win?
You never know, you know? I mean, John Jones is a tough guy to bet against, but he's never really fought a heavyweight. He's trained with heavyweights for sure. You know,
And now
when
the
you get a
distance
guy
is
like
mitigated,
Ngannou,
too.
and Ngannou has the nuclear option on any person that lives. Any person that lives, if Ngannou, boom.
Yeah.
If he catches you with one of those ones that he hit Rosenstrike with, or that he knocked out Stipe with, or the Alistair Overeem left hook,
Yeah.
that Alistair Overeem one was one of the most disturbing punches I've ever seen a guy get hit with because he was off before like he went to the ground. He got shut off immediately, and his head went almost all the way back, like right.
Slammed and then came back. And then he hit him with a hammer fist.
Yeah, but I
when
mean,
he
his
was on
head
the-
went back while he was standing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Like, pull that video up. Watch this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fuck me.
Bro.
Yeah.
And that guy he did that to, that's Alistair Overeem.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big guy. Like, Alistair Overeem is the former K1 Grand Prix champion. Alistair Overeem was the Strikeforce heavyweight champion. Alistair Overeem is a fucking savage. Yeah. He's really good. So for Francis to do that to Alistair Overeem, I mean, Alistair Overeem is one of the most dedicated strikers.
fuck.
You want to see how good Alistair Overeem is? Pull up Alistair Overeem versus Brock Lesnar.
Sound
Bro,
Marcus
this was
sweating
back
right
when they
now.
were...
Mark hasn't done this much Googling
Bro, how did
this
Jamie
fast
do this?
ever.
They were doing a smell test back then for steroids. That's all they did. They're like, yeah, you're good. Everybody passed. It's so ridiculous. When you look at Brock Lesnar and he's standing right next to, like, look at the two of them. How the fuck did he pass anything? They used to call him Ubereem back then because, like, he wasn't like a real person.
Yeah.
He was like a comic book superhero.
Yeah.
His physique was perfect, and his kickboxing skills world class, dude. I mean, K1 Grand Prix champion. When they didn't test, or when they tested very lightly, Alistair was running the show.
Yeah.
I would have
mean-
loved to see what happened if they just like was testing.
We need
Guys, we're gonna do our best.
Wait, do any of
Everybody wants to do their best.
do any of the other organizations not test? The bare knuckle
Yes.
shit, they're not testing, right?
I don't know how they test. They test depending upon the commission. Like some commissions are very strict. Like you can't pull any funny business in Nevada. Nevada's got it down pat. They're the best athletic commission. They do the most big time fights. They have everything smooth and polished.
Yeah.
But some commissions are wild.
Yeah.
Like Michael Bisping got passed
With one
multiple
eye, right?
times with one eye.
Yeah.
Like how could they be doing a good job? How is that possible? Who the fuck let him do that? I mean, all respect and props to Michael Bisping because
Yeah.
when people talk about toughness, toughness, like to what extent? What about a guy who loses an eye and then doesn't tell anybody because he wants to keep fighting and wins 10 fights plus the world title with one fucking eye?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't want to tell a guy you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what
no,
I'm saying?
that's
It's like, I don't want you to do that,
Yeah.
but I don't want to tell a guy you can't do that.
Hey, why is it that when guys get knocked out, they get chinny?
Well, Chuck Liddell told me that it's because your brain is trying to protect you because it knows you're too tough and you're going to take more shots. And it knows those shots are damaging you. So instead of letting you just be tough and take it, your brain, after you've been shut off a few times, just lets you go out quicker.
And do they know the amount of times?
No one knows because it varies. Some people, you could also catch someone at a point in their career where they've been concussed, and then maybe they've been concussed at the gym, and then they get knocked out 1 or 2 times that year, and it's a real problem. But then they take time off, and they come back, and they're good. So it's like, is it that they're getting damaged a lot in training too? Or maybe they've lost a step? Are they coming into a fight damaged?
Yeah.
Because sometimes guys come into fights, like Schaub talked about that. back when he was training with all those guys in Colorado, like they would have some crazy ass wars, and guys would get banged up really bad in the gym, and then they would fight, and they would already be kind of
That's the football thing.
Yeah.
It's like those guys are getting concussed in practice, and they're putting them back out there.
Schaub used to spar with Shane Carwin.
Yeah.
Shane Carwin's fists are 2 of my fists.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. He was a preposterous man, and Schaub used to spar that dude.
Yeah.
And Shane Carwin was probably the single biggest one-punch, other than Ngannou, striker ever in the UFC. Shane Carwin knocked a lot. Look at that with Shane Carwin.
That's a big boy.
Dude, he was a house.
That's a big boy.
He was the interim champion, and he almost got Brock Lesnar. He had him fucked up in the first round, and he was on top of him and beating the shit out of him, but he gassed out.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second because we got to be less high. Okay? And the way that you get less high but still get high at the same time is with diet smoke, okay? We should have taken some diet smoke today, matter of fact, because it can, just give you that nice, beautiful buzz instead of what, I don't know what part of the episode this is on, but as it gets later, I'm way too high for the diet smoke, that's for sure. I wish I diet smoked it up, and then I would be perfect. They got Delta 8 THC, okay? Delta 8 THC is hemp-derived, federally legal, yay, and packs the perfect buzz within each gummy. You're gonna love the taste, you're gonna love the high, and you don't even have to go looking up a bunch of fake ailments to tell your doctor in order to get a medical card.
How are you so high?
I'm sorry, dude. Anyway, look, Diet Smoke, they got our back. So right now, you can order Diet Smoke. You can go to dietsmoke.com and use the code Flagrant. You get 20% off your entire order. Because Diet Smoke loves us and our listeners so much, they stepped it up. If you're not sure about Delta 8, Diet Smoke will send you a 2-pack of gummies for free. All you gotta do is pay for shipping. Think about that. You getting weed gummies that don't make you crazy high, but do get you high, sent to your house for free. All you gotta do is pay the shipping. Diet Smoke's Delta 8 THC gummies are not for use or sale to people under the age of 21. Please use responsibly. All right, guys, let's get back to the show. Do you think that the UFC will start to get... I'm good.
Bro, they're like canned ham.
I'm good.
I thought you were talking to me.
No, he's talking to you.
I know, I'm out here. He said, let's get paranoid.
Let's do it.
That was the message.
Yeah.
Let's get paranoid.
You text me like, I'm bringing weed and cigars. Let's get paranoid. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck paranoid means, bro. I'm
Schulz
just-
did call the cops on himself right
Hey,
now.
bro, I'm looking up conspiracy shit. Are you?
They're the
You're like
most fun
part of
when you're high, right?
conspiracies now, right?
There's some conspiracies, I'm sure.
Okay.
'Cause conspiracies, a lot of them are just made up shit, so I'm sure I'm in a few.
Yeah.
Have you heard any about yourself?
No, I try not to listen to anything about me. It's just too dangerous. I don't want to get my feelings hurt.
Do you still get hurt by any?
No, I mean, you would, I guess. You're a human.
Yeah.
People say mean shit and you read it, you're like, oh, wow, is that really me?
Yeah.
You know, just like, it's this, Louis C.K. said something interesting. He goes, it's just talk, right? Like people always just talk, but it's written down. So it seems like it's something more because people could read it like, but people have always been doing that. It's just talk. But it's now everybody could read what people decide to talk about.
You're
which is
saying that
interesting.
because it's recorded.
Well, because it's recorded and because of how you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you just heard, if it's just mad voices out there talking, it's whatever, it gets lost in the noise. But if it's written and you read it, then it feels more official. It feels more weighty. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think there's something about it being written down, so
It
it's
just
like this
feels more
permanent
real.
thing.
Yeah.
You know?
There's Amber Heard started OnlyFans. Did you see that?
Did you really?
No.
He's just
I would believe it.
He's starting a conspiracy right
I
now.
would believe anything.
This is my
Wait,
conspiracy.
wait, wait,
that I'm
Do you
starting
believe
right now.
anything?
What do you think about the verdict?
Well, I think it was probably good for all people who believe in the truth. And the problem is there's like this boys versus girls narrative that I think we all get into on these things. And there's a lot of guys who wanted a guy to win one of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just not good to not be honest. And if you're doing that and you're doing it to try to hurt someone,
Yeah.
like if you're purposely changing reality. You're lying about what happened just to try to hurt somebody.
Right.
You're doing a fucked up thing because you're pretending you're a victim. And it's not as simple as you're just lying. You're turning someone into a criminal. You're pretending you're a victim. And if it's all not true, it's a really bad thing.
Yeah.
It's really bad. It's just bad for all of us.
Yeah.
So whether it's bad for like someone said that the verdict is bad for women, I'm like, that's crazy.
They're gonna say that.
That's crazy. It's just not good to do shit like that.
Do you think
To
it's all
pretend
not
some guy
true?
beat you up? I don't know. You watch the trial and you form your own opinions. Unless you're there, unless there's direct evidence. And other than the evidence of like the conversations they had that they were both recording, which is
so
wild.
weird.
Fucking
Like shit gotta get fucked up
crazy.
before you press record when
That
you're
is
arguing with
so
your wife,
wild.
man.
Now, did they secretly
Yeah, why would
record
you
each
want to listen to
other?
what your wife says twice? Think about the
Did
torture.
they secretly record each other?
No, I think they both knew.
So they both knew.
Yeah.
So they decided to have like a performance conversation. Because if you're recording it knowing someone else is going to listen.
Yeah.
So that's not a real conversation. Like you're putting on a show.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians knows the camera's there. Yeah. They know the cameras are there.
Yeah. That's
true.
When are you gonna
That's-
get Kris
they're putting on a
Jenner?
show.
You need Kris Jenner on.
Oh, I don't need that.
Yes.
Why do you need that?
I would
What
love
is
that.
so fascinating?
There's a
I
boundary.
just never met a demon before.
Oh my goodness.
What? I said
You
something
can't just
wrong?
call people demons, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Why? Because I downgraded her from devil? Is that the issue?
But isn't she just crafty?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's
I don't know if
crafty.
crafty is the word.
Well, she's like made the most with whatever resources she had. She
Every
went for
movie
it.
where I've
Daughter
seen
porn?
the devil. Yeah, daughter porn.
That's a resource.
That's the crazy thing is if
I'm trying to look at things with rose-colored glasses.
That's that Austin shit.
There's so much defensiveness in this world right now, and there's so much like what we think of as like things that are completely out of our hands. Like when you think of things like the war with the possible war with Ukraine, that's completely out of our hands. We're all just sitting here in a state of anxiety, right? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, if Russia launches a nuke, if some wild shit happens, if China invades Taiwan, what are we gonna do? And so we're in this like perpetual state of never feeling like I'm just living life. Because I'm living life under this canopy of danger and doom.
Yeah.
And if it's not that, it's climate change.
Yeah.
If it's not that, it's the new variants. There's going to be new variants coming in January. Get ready.
Yeah.
It's like this constant, we've got to be aware of things, but the problem with danger is when it gets in the zeitgeist like that, it takes a long time to clean that out.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, the Cold War days were happening, and we were legitimately worried that at any day Russia could nuke the United States.
It came super close, right? Super close.
Well, they definitely did during the Cuban Missile
Yeah,
Crisis.
exactly.
Yeah, that was a little bit before my time, but but not by much. I'm old as fuck, 54. But they were worried all the time, man. They had stop, drop, and roll, or what did you stop? Drop and cover or something like that. Yeah, you're supposed to. They had like that stupid saying though.
Hide under desk.
Yeah.
Or some shit
Wasn't
like
stop, drop, and roll. That's if you're on fire.
Fire, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like stop, drop, cover or some shit like that.
Something like that. But when we were in high school, man, it was a legit fear. Like when that Red Dawn movie came out.
Yeah.
Like there was a legit fear that we were going to go to a nuclear war with Russia and we would all get wiped out. And everybody had this kind of anxiety about it. It like stuck with you. And then when the Soviet Union fell, that all went away. And for a brief moment of time, it felt relaxed. It really did.
Yeah.
It felt like we don't have to worry about nuclear war. We just have to worry about fucked up wars. We just have to worry these hot wars. They're shooting tanks at each other in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as we don't have to worry about nuclear war.
Yeah.
You know, so we like accepted a certain level of war, and now the nuclear war part is back on the table. And I think that's one of the things that it flavors all of our conversations, whether we realize it or not, is we're all under this like steady state of anxiety.
Yes.
And then climate change. And it's not saying don't do things about climate change. We should, but all this, how dare you, all that.
Why is that advantageous? To keep us in a steady state of anxiety.
It's not that it's advantageous. It's human nature to like seek that. It's human nature to try to find the danger. The problem is you're not supposed to know about danger with 7 billion people.
Yeah.
It's too many fucking people.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know about danger in your community.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to have a small tribe of 150 or so people, and you know about everything you can't eat, and you know about all the people that are dangerous.
Yeah. It's
You
like
know-
70 people. Like the Dunbar number or
I think
whatever.
I think it's 150.
150?
But it's actually tiered. I didn't know it was tiered. It's the Dunbar's number is you get a certain amount of like intimate, close friends that you know well, and then from there on, it's like you get 50 people who you know their name, but you don't know too much about them, and then there's like another 100 people.
1,500 people you can recognize, 500 acquaintances, 150 meaningful contacts, 50 friends, 15 good friends.
Yeah, interesting.
I would
Someone's
cut
gotta-
all of that by a third.
Someone's got to
5
get
people,
cut.
loved ones.
What if you know a lot of cool people? We know a lot of cool people. Yeah. Someone's got to get cut. You got to get cut from my top 15.
It's like a
Remember
lineup.
MySpace?
It's a
the
lineup
top
at the
9?
store in your mind. You're like,
Everybody's like, bro, why am I not in your top 9? Remember that? Your friends and want to be in your top 9? Like, okay. All right, man. This is so silly.
it's your MySpace list, just all over.
That's your Dunbar number, bro.
Cut, dude. Oof.
That's the thing. It's like, I think we really are only designed to interact with a certain amount of people. I think that's why interaction on social media is so like hostile. It's not normal. You're not supposed to be interacting with that many people. It's like you got data coming at you, like it's like too much.
And I can't care about you. I just have too many people.
It's too
I'm
much.
past that 1,500.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck
But do
about
our
I don't
brains
see you as a
adapt
person.
though over time? You think?
I think they do. I think our brains are going to evolve. And they're going to eventually, whether it's through electronic intervention, which is the most likely scenario, that they put something in our brains and it allows us to interface with each other in a different way. And Elon, the way Elon described it, he said, you're going to be able to talk without words.
That's Neuralink.
Yeah, this is his version of it. But I'm sure there's multiple versions.
Do you think we
develop.
see that in our lifetime?
Yes. Yes. I think we see that way quicker than we think. I think how cell phones took over, when cell phones went from being like, who has a cell? Look at Michael Douglas on the beach with that fucking prick. Greed is good, bitch. Remember those days? Yeah. How many assholes did that movie make? That movie made so many righteous assholes.
He goes to jail at the end, and no one talks about that part.
Yeah,
We're
no
like,
one talks
but
about
he's so
that
rich
part.
Before that,
But before that, he was look at that phone on the beach, bitch, making phone calls, no cord, out here in the sand, doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Drinking margaritas and shaping world politics.
Yeah. You can't finish the movie. You cut it off right before the end. You're like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's when it's good. It's like Scarface. I'm sad when he dies. I wanted Tony Montana to live.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted him to live.
I should have never
I
smoked
like
that
it.
shit.
I like it.
never fucking smoked
I like anti-heroes.
Be honest. But 1 to 10.
Damn.
1 to 10. How are
Light
you?
it up again, Joe. Fuck it. Let's go. If we're going for it, we're going for it.
You're already
Let's
there.
go.
You're
I've
already
been
there.
emasculated by a guy wearing a fanny pack right now. I don't know what to say. I'm too fucking high.
Look at that.
I like how you went leather.
I always wear this one. It's my nice one.
Yeah.
I love that you wear fanny
Do you have
packs.
different ones?
Yeah, I have 5 of these fucking.
You got a
things,
sleep
yeah.
one. You got the workout one.
No, but I just the one I usually use. Yeah.
Andrew has one of those, but he wears it around his shoulder, which I think is way gayer.
Oh yeah, that's worse.
Well, it's just a cop out.
Yeah, right?
Thank you. Right?
Don't
You're just
have it.
afraid
My
you
wife
do.
gave it to
You're
me.
just
Yeah, but
afraid
you
of
have to wear
this.
that shit around your
You're
shoulder.
afraid of this look. Look
It's just 2 ball sacks.
at this.
It's like a kilt. It's
This
like
is
it's
what it
college.
looks like when a man does not give a fuck. Look at this. This is what it's supposed to look like.
This is what you've been working for.
This is better. It's better. I can keep stuff in there. It's better.
Dude,
Yeah.
mad
It's just
practical.
better.
Yeah, what about pockets?
Yeah, but they get in the way, dude. They dig into your legs.
But what are you keeping there?
Not
I'm so
Alex's
curious.
leg.
Weed and fear factor legs.
Look at Joe's legs.
It's a little different.
He puts a quarter in there. He's like, God damn it.
Like the Princess and the Pea. Remember that story? Is that the dumbest fucking story of all time?
With the beds?
Yeah, they found out she was a princess because they put a pea like 13
yeah,
mattresses
yeah.
under and she
Yeah.
couldn't sleep. She was in agony. Imagine, like she's a princess because her body is so weak that if you put a pea under her,
It's all the
she
inbreeding.
can't
Yeah, it's all
sleep.
It was the inbreeding, dude. Her body just.
I was thinking
Imagine
that, and I didn't
that's
say it because I'm hot.
That's a good trait. But imagine that that's supposed to be a good trait.
Yeah.
What?
That's how you can tell she's a princess. She
body's
can't
up.
even sleep with a pea under there.
100%.
Yeah.
She's so delicate.
Delicate.
That a pea fucked her up.
Yep.
And that's supposed to be amazing. Like, what are you talking about?
That's like the more fat and pale you were back in the day, like the more high in society you were.
Food, man. If you could afford gluttony in the face of abject poverty all around you, people are literally starving to death, and you're a slob.
And you're sleeping on food.
You're slothing, just filled gut with wine,
Yeah.
beer.
That was the first Gordon Gekko. That was it. That was just a guy that was super fat in the 1700s. Greed is good.
Everybody's like, we could just get a few crumbs.
No, I'm gonna
Just get a few crumbs.
Yeah, exactly.
Why'd we do this, bro?
This guy's high already, dude.
Wait, light it again.
You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go.
Light it
Just
again.
accept it. Accept it. This is what's happened. You've gotten high in front of the whole world.
It's Tai Chi, bro. You're just moving.
Yeah, you gotta move. Yeah, he knows what the fuck is
Come
up.
on. I Googled that right before, but I got
I've never seen you high
How are you
before.
not high?
I don't know, yo.
because he faked it.
I didn't
Did you
fake
not-
it.
you
I
did
blew out
inhale it,
smoke.
right?
Joe accepted it.
He might have faked it.
It was an acceptable puff to Joe.
I have to take it on the honor system. Depends on how much went in. Some came out.
So I don't know what I'm
Something,
doing.
you know, was in there. I think it was one of these.
Did you guys get fucked up at all from the weed?
A little bit.
No, Mark, come on.
A little bit.
I feel a tad slow, but not like this guy.
I'm not slow. I'm chilling.
It's
bro.
not that it's
He was
slow.
saying right now. He smokes,
People
so
look
he's
at it the wrong way.
Okay, what is it?
It just removes a layer of protection
I feel.
between you and the known universe.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that. I feel more like I would like the layer back.
You'll get it back eventually.
I enjoyed that protection that I
You'll
had.
get it back.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna get the layer back.
How fire is
Just
that
gotta
couch,
wait.
though?
It's nice.
That couch, right though?
It's very nice.
Yeah, it's a nice couch. It
I
looks
like
good on it.
couches.
You
It
look
does
good.
make you more comfortable than
Huh?
like an office chair.
Right
you
though?
go.
Making me rethink my situation.
He likes wireless.
See what I'm
wireless
saying?
mics, too.
Wireless mics, you get to move around, you act out.
It's definitely
Like when you were
better
chewing,
for
bro,
talking shit.
I love that.
It's definitely better for talking shit.
That's
in
it. We
comedy.
just here to talk shit.
But I wonder if
drink
a
whiskey.
couch would be the way you'd want to interview a scientist, though.
No, but a
Would
guy
that be
who just
different?
got tits. A guy who's now a woman, a female woman with huge tits.
Yes.
That's how I would like to interview them.
Well, I bet she'd probably do your show.
Say again.
I bet she would probably do your show.
Can you get me the North Korean?
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
she has a name.
Oh my gosh. You owe me.
You gonna make me pronounce the name, bro?
Yeah, also,
Come on. dog.
I don't think she's the North Korean. I think there's another North Korean.
Yeah, I was talking about Kim.
Oh, you're talking about Kim?
Yeah, my boy Kim. No, do you think that she would ever come on?
We could reach out.
Yeonmi
Park.
Park.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Her story is crazy, man.
Yeah.
What else
Her
is crazy
story is
about
so
it?
crazy.
What
Yeah.
else is crazy, bro? She got some crazy
What?
things, bro.
Don't you do it.
You're being bad.
Yo, Joe, come on. Stop
being
acting like you got a fanny pack on.
We,
Let's have a conversation, bro. We're just trying to talk about the Hermes, bro. That's all.
Dude,
bro, that's
we
it.
send each other memes. He'll send me pictures of a dude squatting, and I know exactly what he's talking about. The heavies.
The soup heavies, bro. No, she got some, bro. She got some. That's how they make them out there
That
in
was
NK,
the
dog.
majority of our interaction on text messages for a solid 4 or 5 days
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah. Just scouring.
Andrew just texted me the heavies. Dying.
Yo, me Park out to dinner.
Dying.
Me too.
Oh my God.
What, Al? Listen, your boy getting a little saucy. And it is what it is, you know?
Bro, ash your cigar, dog.
What? That's
good.
that little
Let it
foreskin,
hang.
dog. Let me get my foreskin.
Let it hang, man. These are good cigars.
What you think about circumcising women?
Why?
I might have made a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. I take full responsibility for whatever happens here. It's clearly my fault.
Why'd you get him high?
Because I wanted to see.
You gotta experience it, bro. Someone pull my pants down. These pants are getting crazy right now. You know what I'm saying,
bro.
Joe? You know what I'm
I
saying?
do, my friend. I'm really happy for you. And I want to tell you one thing that
Okay.
I love about what you do is you find your own ways through things. You know, you find your own ways through things. And I was talking about you the other day in the green room at the Vulcan in Austin. I said, think about it. Like, you can't even say, turn your phone sideways. 'Cause that's Schulz's shit. When he says, turn your phone, you can't say that anymore.
I agree.
No one else can say that.
You can't.
You figured out how to own, turn your phone sideways.
I've stolen a lot of stuff from this guy.
But that's a
The
weird
guys
one.
here.
That's a weird
I
one.
can't steal that one. I've
It's
tried.
like, wow, how did he, like, okay, and then you figured out how to do that and make these cinematic, comedic pieces while the world was falling apart, when no one was doing anything.
Yeah.
You put your shit all out on YouTube, it blows up, and then you put together this place. This is cool as fuck.
We did. All these guys.
Yeah,
played. He was fun,
I
man.
know. I know there's other people involved. I'm just trying to tell you.
Well, thank you, man.
What
That
you're
means a lot,
doing,
bro.
what you're doing is awesome. What you're doing gives me hope because you're doing exactly what the cameras are off, what you do when the cameras are on. The way we talk shit when the cameras are off is the way we talk shit when the cameras are on. You're a real dude. And it's so important for people like that. And Akaash, I really wish you would go back to eating meat.
Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Get back on, dog.
It's an
You're
issue.
awesome too, both of you guys. And the you know, the fact that you've carved your own show. You got your own vibe to your show. You know, it's like your show is a fun, silly hang. You know, but you could talk about serious shit too. Like you can flow back and forth between serious shit and complete preposterous conversations.
It's the only way it's fun.
It's so fun. We're so lucky that we get to do this.
Don't you wish some of them scientists you were talking to had a fucking joke in their body?
No.
Sometimes, be
But
honest.
sometimes I want to talk to them too. You know, I mean, even if they're dry, like I want to extract, like what you need a person who thinks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's fascinating to me because I'm so dumb.
Yo, this is the biggest cap in the world,
know.
bro. You telling people you're dumb is bullshit.
No. I'm dumb compared to
Joe,
these people.
Joe.
No, listen to me.
They're good at one
Do you know how to
thing.
play pool?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
I'm one of the
but
best
I
pool
suck.
players ever.
Let me tell you something. I know how to play pool, but I suck. I don't suck compared to you. I'll fuck you up. But I suck. But I suck
Let's go.
compared to regular people.
Right.
Or
Like-
rather, compared to professionals.
Yes.
There's levels.
Yes.
And I am fucking dumb. When I talk to Elon Musk, I'm very aware how dumb I am.
Really?
Yes. When I talk to Lex Friedman, when I talk to
But
Eric
if you talk to
Weinstein,
Elon about
Eric
emotions and
Weinstein
human
makes me
interaction,
uncomfortable. What's that?
if you talk to Elon about emotions and human interaction, probably you're much smarter than him.
He's not dumb in that regard. He's a different kind of human, man. Like, that's an unusual combination of characteristics. He likes to make jokes. He takes a picture of Bill Gates and then he puts it next to a pregnant man emoji and it says, here's a quick way to lose your boner. Or if you want to lose your boner really quick, that's what he said. He posts that.
Yeah.
He's the richest man in the world, and he's dunking on other billionaires.
I love that. No,
You
I
gotta
love that.
celebrate that.
I love Elon.
and he loves that nature of the internet. And the thing that bothers him is this idea that like one gatekeeper can dictate whether or not something gets released into the whole world. If you're using something like Twitter, like you could have an amazing story and they can block it if ideologically they disagree with it. Like that's what happened with that Hunter Biden laptop.
Yeah,
story.
yeah, yeah.
What happened with that?
Well, they decided to say that it was Russian disinformation and that you couldn't share the links on Twitter or Facebook.
Twitter said that.
Yeah, Twitter would not let you share the links. And the link is from a story in the New York Post, which is really kind of crazy because that's like one of the oldest newspapers in America.
Hamilton.
It's a long established newspaper and they wouldn't let you post. It's not like some wild ass website,
Right.
you know, some weird, it might not be a real website. It was fucking New York Post. And so when something like a Twitter has the ability to just tell you what you can and can't talk about,
Yeah.
even if that thing is valid, even if that thing, what if it does legitimately, I don't know what the fuck is in his laptop, but what if it does legitimately point to corruption? Are we supposed to just ignore it because we want to own the people on the right? It's like
That's what we do with Pelosi.
Right.
What you mean?
She mad corrupt.
She's definitely corrupt, but she's corrupt in a loophole way, I think.
Talk to me.
She's doing a thing where her husband buys stock in companies, and she may or may not know things
That would
are gonna
affect that
happen,
company.
that would affect the way that company.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're so rich. They did a thing on her husband where they showed like how successful he is in the stock market, like compared to regular people.
Right. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
And it's like there's no way that he knows things.
She makes like
I'm
200
not,
grand a year.
I'm not saying that he knows things.
He might be a
I'm not
genius.
saying that.
He
He's
might be
just
a genius
Great
investor.
investor, bro.
he's better than Buffett. That's all we're saying.
100%.
He's a goddamn wizard.
Buffett, no.
Yeah.
Puts a wizard's hat on and he finds the right things to gamble on.
Yeah.
And he always wins. I mean, she's worth like hundreds of millions of dollars.
No.
Like, good for her.
Yeah.
Does she come from
It's
money
very
at all?
I don't think so.
I think
Really?
she got
I
some.
respect that though,
Yeah.
because most of these motherfuckers come from money. They keep changing the rules of the game to help themselves. At least if you were in the gutter before and then you shift the rules up, it's like, well, at least you made the climb. A lot of these motherfuckers are just born in it.
You're saying that she hustled for it.
Yeah, at least she got there on her own.
Hey, what is it about people that were born in it, right? Like princes. And why do so many of them become like psychopaths?
I don't think
Like
you.
throughout history.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? You say
A lot
first
of-
generation becomes
Yeah,
psychopaths?
a lot of like Saddam Hussein's sons
Yeah.
were some of the most evil people that have
Yeah.
ever lived. They would do horrific shit. There's stories of them kidnapping women on their wedding day, like going to them, taking them from their husband,
Yeah.
raping them, and feeding them to their dogs.
What?
That's horrendous.
Yes.
Like, for real?
Yes.
Peak fetish. Like,
Yes.
that's all that's
Feeding
left.
them to their dogs.
Yeah. I think there's a sociopathy that develops, or sociopathy, however you say it, when you're so removed from any normal human interaction that you don't like ever.
Develop empathy.
You don't get to feel bad for people because
Right.
no one shows you the bad shit. So there's no remorse to feel, I think. So you're just like, well, let's just push this as far as we can push it. This is a theory I just came up with. But I
think
dare you
it's-
to debunk it.
I think they get stuck in this idea. Like we have human beings have this thing where we other each other. You know, like if you're going to go to war with that group, even if it's like North versus South
Yeah,
in America,
100%.
we can other each other.
Yeah.
And I think we could do that with anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened with the kids. I thought the kids ended
I
up being
heard
kind
they
of
were
weak.
No, I heard they were awful, but I don't
Not
be reading.
Saddam's kids. I'm just saying in general. I thought like the kids of successful people. It's
Well,
hard for them to-
sometimes, but there's a few of those instances of evil kings, right? That's like Game of Thrones. Remember
Joffrey.
Joffrey.
He was an evil king. Like, there's a long history
Okay.
of young men who take over the throne from their father and they're just fucking evil.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they don't have the empathy because they didn't have to earn it. Like if you come from nothing, you have empathy for all the other people who have nothing. And those kids who come from everything, why would they even feel bad?
Also, the reality of violence was accelerated back then because people were doing sword fighting.
Yeah.
You know, they were hitting each other with bows and arrows and hacking each other to death. And so it was happening, and probably like everybody saw it.
Right.
Like the amount of laws and rules that they had back when that shit was going on.
Yeah. You used to see death all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I think about that now. I've seen a dead body like 3 times in my life.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah, I mean, like my grandfather passed away, open casket, like that kind of thing. But like back in the day,
they all saw bodies.
yeah, like you're
Yeah.
confronted by life and death, bookended all the time.
You know when they talk about like people, the life expectancy, the average life expectancy
Yeah.
used to be like 30 years old.
Yeah.
You know what a lot of that is? It's the babies would die.
Infant death. Yeah.
It's like an average, right?
That was a big part of it. A big part of it was they used to have all these fertility rituals back then. They would do fertility rituals to try, like, it was like important to make more people, and they would be worried that they would run out of people.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that wild?
So the fertility rituals are like the community coming around to make sure that you have a baby?
Well, there's just so much infant death that they're like, yo, let's have as many kids as possible because so many die, we might run out.
Yeah,
Just
it
die
could have
in
been
birth.
like that they had dances or myths or stuff like that. But that was there was a guy named John Marco Allegro who wrote a book
This is
called
the guy
The
with the-
Sacred Mushroom and the Cross.
I was literally told them today. I saw this thing yesterday with you. Okay, go on this.
Well,
Christianity is like a mushroom religion?
John Marco Allegro, he spent like just, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 years deciphering the Dead Sea Scrolls. And he was an ordained minister who...
What are the Dead Sea Scrolls?
The Dead Sea Scrolls are the oldest version of the Bible I think that they've ever found is in Aramaic. I might be wrong about that, but it's an old version of the Bible that was written on animal skins and left in clay pots in Qumran. And so they found these fairly recently. Like I think they found them in the 20th century or the 19th.
Yeah, 46, 47.
Okay, so it was the 20th century. And so then they started deciphering them. And this one guy, he was an ordained minister, but then as he became a scholar of ancient religions, he became agnostic. But he was still on the Dead Sea Scrolls Committee. So this guy is an expert in languages, and they're trying to decipher this language. And so his conclusion at the end of 14 years is that the entire cult of Christianity was really all about the consumption of psychedelic mushrooms and fertility rituals. And that the whole thing was a way to hide this knowledge in parables and stories. And that it was just passed down and translated over and over and over again and lost like a lot of its meaning along the way when people stopped participating in the rituals. But his belief was, and he was an expert in the origins of words, and he traced back the word Christ to an ancient Sumerian word that meant a mushroom covered in God's semen. Because they thought when it rained that it was God coming on the earth. Because that was how things would grow.
That actually makes sense.
So when
like if you have no science, we know nothing scientific.
Liquid,
when
exactly.
it rains,
Exactly.
and then all of a sudden things grow. That is life springing from the earth.
Yeah.
So it must be God coming on the
something
earth.
fertile, right?
So
Yeah.
here's where it gets more complicated. Mushrooms grow like that.
Oh,
Okay.
So you could have no mushrooms and you get out of your tent and then there's mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like literally overnight there could be
Right.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
So they would eat these mushrooms and trip balls.
Yeah.
And mushrooms in low doses increase visual acuity. They make people hornier. They establish a more potent bond of community. It allows creativity that is linked to the development of language.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? We have mushrooms here if you want.
Let's go.
Wait, do we really?
Yeah.
I'm not doing no fun.
Don't be scared.
Oh, and for the record,
Let's fucking go.
the Dead Sea Scrolls, mostly in Hebrew, a little bit of Aramaic.
Mostly in Hebrew?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second because I got to tell y'all about SeatGeek, man. I mean, if you didn't know already, SeatGeek is a ticketing app that makes buying tickets super simple. We've got the app on our phones, and it's by far and away the best way to buy tickets, man. Akaash, can you bust that app out for me real quick? So basically, you can get tickets for goddamn near anything. Coldplay, if you want to see that. Justin Bieber, Grupo Firme, Paul McCartney, still alive. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they put the tickets from all over the internet into one place, okay? It makes buying things so simple, okay? From sports, concerts, festivals, comedy shows. You're trying to see Akaash sing on tour right now, you're going to have to get them tickets on SeatGeek, especially if it's sold out. SeatGeek wants to make sure that you're getting a good deal. So when you're on the app, look for the green dots. Green means good deal. Red means bad deal, okay? Don't worry, we've got the hookup. Use the code FLAGRANT for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with the promo code FLAGRANT. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app now. Let's get back to the show.
The Dead Sea Scrolls, the way they found out what pieces were, they had to do DNA tests.
Yeah.
They had to find out which cow the pieces came from.
Oh, wow.
And then they put all the pieces where the cow came from, and then they had to try to piece it together. It's wild shit.
I mean, that's insane.
And I've never read the Dead Sea Scrolls, but the people that read it say it's really fascinating.
If that's what it meant, would you be a Christian? Come on
Listen,
now.
I'm not joining any groups, man.
But
I don't
if
think
that's
that's
what it
necessary.
meant,
I think that's a real problem with people.
What do you
joining
mean?
Groups.
Talk to me.
Yeah, you join the Christians, and all of a sudden the Baptists are your enemies. You know, you don't like Protestants anymore.
No.
You know, like that's what happened with the Catholics and the Protestants in Ireland. I mean, there's obviously a lot more to it, but you know, it was literally religion versus religion, killing each other.
When one group finds itself, they tolerate each other, and then they don't tolerate anyone else. It's
That's
a
the
real
other
fascinating
we're talking
thing.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the history of humans.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you subscribe to the high ape theory?
The higher, it's called a stoned ape theory.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
stoned ape
that's
theory.
McKenna's idea. No,
I didn't do
that's
mushrooms.
it.
If I do mushrooms, I would know.
The best guy describing that is actually Terence McKenna's brother, Dennis. And Dennis is a real scientist, like a rock solid scientist. And the way he describes it, he explains why the theory has some merit. He never says that it's definitely what happened, but
What is
there's
the
a
theory for
mystery.
those of-
The mystery with the human brain size is that the human brain size doubled over a period of, I think it's like 2 million years, which is extraordinary.
Right.
They have no idea what happened.
Right.
And so there's a lot of theories.
I feel like my brain shrunk. I feel like it's half the fucking size it
I
used to
think I'm
be.
getting high.
Oh, you get a little
Supposed to
bit
take
high?
this long?
I don't know. dude.
Yeah.
I'm feeling. Come on, bro. Tell us about these high ass apes.
Anyway,
I'm high as shit. Come on. Where's Miles,
the
bro? He
stoned
was
ape
there.
theory is the
Bro, dude, come on, Joe.
He's gone,
I thought
Joe.
we lost Miles, bro, but he's back. He's back. Everything's good. He was just covered by the monitor.
Andrew's hallucinating.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's go.
So that's the theory.
We missed the whole theory.
Yeah, I missed the whole
What's the theory, man?
Nah,
The theory is ancient primates
Yeah.
experimented with mushrooms, and they led to a rapid development in human brain size, which doubled over a period of 2 million years. So the human brain size doubled, and he thinks it coincides with the rainforest receding into grasslands, which would give to a lot of ungulates that would shit like cows. And then on those patties, they would find mushrooms. And they would try them out as a food source.
And you
because
wouldn't kill cows
ancient
to eat,
primates.
Joe?
Well, that's the reason why I probably don't.
That's why Indians so smart, Joe.
Yeah, you can grow that shit in a lab, dummy. You don't need to fuck with shit. Why are you playing in shit?
We asked him that.
We have scientists now. You have a cell phone. You don't need
Eat
cow shit.
organic, Joe.
Oh yeah, okay.
God damn, dude.
You don't have to put pesticide in the lab.
Yes.
Organic just means no pesticide.
Wait, you only eat organic?
No, I eat whatever the fuck I want to eat.
Right, he ate 6 burgers when we were out that one time.
Oh,
remember?
yeah, that is
One
true.
time I did.
Now you understand why we talk about food with you, Joe?
I like to eat.
We met you to get a hamburger.
Yeah.
You ate 3. And then there was one more on the table, and you just said, "This is nobody's, right?"
Because sometimes they leave them there. Because everybody's just ordering shit. We got like giant trays.
Yeah, you don't want to be wasteful.
I think that was a chicken sandwich too.
No, the recall.
Recall, bro. Alpha brain.
This is what we think it is. I think you have insane recall, and you think that you're dumb, but your recall, like, are you one of the guys that you know exactly what happened in a round of a fight that you watched 10 years ago?
Not always. No, definitely not always.
Sometimes, though?
Sometimes I get it. Yeah, a lot of times.
That's pretty crazy.
Sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I thought he did it that way. Like, oh,
Because you've heard athletes do this. Like Bill Russell could tell you every single play of every game that
LeBron.
he did. LeBron, they say, can do it. I don't know if I believe it.
That's interesting.
Sean McVay can do
Sean
it. He's a
McVay.
football
Sean
coach.
Of the
McVay,
Rams.
yeah, the
They'll-
coach
they'll
of the
quiz
You
Rams.
know, a lot
Yeah.
of fighters don't have that. You
Well,
know?
they
a
got
lot of fighters
knocked out
kind
of
of go.
them.
No.
Fog of war also, I assume.
No, even when they win, like sometimes they just get in a zone, and then before they know it, they've won, and then they'll watch it on camera and go, "Whoa, look at that!" Like almost like they don't remember what they did.
I assume if your life is on the line, that's everything is heightened, but you don't remember any of it. It's just I have to survive.
I don't think it's that as much as
Well, that was a
they're
fun time.
so focused on delivering shots. They're so focused on delivering shots that they're like in a trance.
But what about my theory, Joe?
Your theory was kind of dumb.
Your theory's great for pussies.
Shut the fuck up. Eat some beef, right, Joe? Come on.
It's a really good theory.
Get the beef.
If you weren't talking about the toughest people in the world, maybe you're just scared theory would be great.
You don't think Akaash would be a good fighter?
Oh, you mean
You don't think
A
he's
lot of really
built?
smart guys are good fighters.
Say again?
A lot of really smart guys.
Oh,
are good fighters.
I didn't say
And he's a
was
very smart dude.
I
I'm
have
sure
the
he'd be a good
worst
fighter.
recall, actually. The worst recall.
Yeah, but you're smart, man.
I'd
You're
be
a smart
reading
guy.
shit and forgetting it in 30 seconds. Every
Yeah.
time y'all ask me for something I talked about 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I don't know, man. That
But
was 2 weeks ago.
is
It's
that
from me.
the case, or is it just that you don't give a fuck about what they were talking about? Like, if something matters to you, do you remember
I
it?
still forget. Dead ass, dude. I read about what every Hindu holiday means every year, and then I forget the next time it comes around.
But what if it's something like is important? Like, what if your wife is telling you something that happened? Like,
I wasn't listening in the first place. So what could you do, you know?
that's not
Well,
good.
you seem to have a commitment.
That's not good. Don't do that at home.
Seem to have a commitment to this ideology.
Come on, Mark. It's his fucking fault. He got me high. This chair goes back so far. When you're high.
Nice. You
Like,
do have
it's-
comfy choices
But
in
this
the
one, because
furniture.
I'm all the way back here. Like, I'm trying to shoot me even. Like, come on,
Keanu,
Joe.
young Keanu right here.
It does
Yo.
make me feel like sitting here like more casual.
It's
than
more
like
casual. It's chill, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
than
dude, we're
like an
hanging out.
office chair. I'm always in like these little
Yo.
fucking chairs that make you sit up like this.
Yeah, yeah.
But don't these hurt your back after
No,
like
no,
3
no,
you got
hours?
that pillow if you need it.
no,
Put
no.
that, prop that shit back here.
Get a little lumbar support if you need it. Cock.
Okay.
it hurts him sometimes? Come on.
Yo, you know your boy Cameron,
Yeah.
who's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I love that.
Why does he carry the animal himself if he has a photographer?
Well, because the photographer doesn't carry animals for you.
Yeah, what? The
But he
fuck was
could.
that question?
No.
You
It's
just take
one
an
guy.
animal carrier
No,
that also could take a
He's got
picture.
expensive cameras. He's not gonna throw a fucking bear
You
on
know
top
those are
of that.
completely different skill sets, right?
I don't
you
know.
know a good photographer.
Bro,
not
I
the
love
other
this guy's
That's an
Instagram.
artist. A photographer's an artist.
What
This
a
is-
dumbass, dude.
No, I'm just saying I watch his shit all the time. He's my motivator. Like, I just love it. He got great music choices also.
You know what's interesting?
What is
He's
that?
on the New York Times bestseller list. And
Oh, really?
yeah, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this because it's kind of weird, but he should have the #1 book in nonfiction,
But why?
based on the numbers. But they put him in self-help instead, which is like, it's really weird. And
So
he goes, he's #8 in the New York Times on how-to books, but he outsold the #1 nonfiction book and the #1 audio book and didn't make either of those lists.
So you think they're hating on him?
I don't know. I mean, why would you? Like, it's maybe an idea.
New York Times, dude, liberals.
I know, but they shouldn't do that. It's so silly. It's like you have an idea of who that guy is. He's a super sweet guy.
Wait, what's the bad thing about him?
He's a
He
family
kills
man.
animals. Cucks hate that.
He's a bow hunter. He's a very manly bow hunter. But he's also an ultra marathon runner. He's
a savage. I want to go
He's
hunting.
a psycho.
I want to do
He's a psycho in the nicest way possible, meaning that, like, he's the type of dude that's like, how many miles are we running? 500? Well, guess I better pack a lunch. And he just can go.
Yeah.
He'll just go. If his body doesn't explode,
Yeah.
if he doesn't have a heart attack and die,
You guys
he's
met
gonna
him.
cross the finish line.
He came to the special.
The guy's a beast. You should go hunting with him. I
want to
you'd
go
enjoy it.
hunting with
You
him.
can
I've
carry
never
the
been
animal.
hunting.
You can carry the animal.
I've never been hunting
He'll
or
take
camping.
you. He'll take you.
Will we camp? Because I want to do
Yes.
both.
You've never camped?
I've never gone camping. no.
Burning Man was his camping.
But that was inside an RV with air conditioning.
Camping is amazing, but I recommend doing it where grizzly bears don't live.
Have you? Wait, what? Why?
Yeah, I don't think I would camp. I am not interested in being around grizzly bears.
You have a fear of grizzly bears.
Everyone should have a fear of grizzly bears.
What?
Because if there was only one grizzly bear and it was a myth, like if a grizzly bear
like a
didn't
Bigfoot.
exist,
Yeah.
but then it was in a movie, and there was this thing that's a 900-pound predatory wild dog
That runs
that
20
just
miles an
roams
hour.
through the woods. No fences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No fences.
Yeah. Oh, you
Can
want to climb a tree and get away? You can climb trees.
Break a moose's back. My friend watched through a scope. He was looking through like a long-range scope.
Yeah.
He watched this bear as it was chasing. They were like, oh shit, it's chasing him, it's chasing him. The bear caught up to the moose and broke its back.
With a
Oh,
slap.
shit.
Just bang! And the moose is fucked, slams against the side of this tree. The bear took down a fucking moose. Those are just running around.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
insane.
gonna have a little cloth house that you sleep in.
But what if you scare them by yelling at them?
Well, you might scare them off.
You can juke
generally
'em, right?
speaking,
Yeah, I can
they're
juke 'em.
not gonna want to kill you because you're
Right.
not a primary food source.
Right.
They focus on what they try to eat. They're trying to eat berries. They're trying to eat animals. They're trying to eat a lot of fawns and calves. That's what they want. They want babies. As right when they get out, they're the most vulnerable, and bears are on the hunt right around then.
Did you see this one where they're
Oh my God, it's the most terrifying.
I've said for years that bears are my biggest fear, and you guys made fun of me relentlessly.
Wait, was it
I
bears?
This is the polar bear.
Yeah.
This is the
Bro.
polar bear. This one is
You live in
fucked.
Florida.
Yeah, there's mad bears where I live.
But what's going on?
Where do you
right here?
live?
Oh, I grew up in Florida. In Orlando.
Oh, there's a lot of bears in Florida.
But they were like little black bears. They weren't even that big.
Little,
Like,
but they'll still kill people.
but this thing right here. So this is him just being curious. He's just kind of looking around.
No, incorrect.
You don't think he's
No, that's a polar bear. He smells meat, and he's trying to get in there and eat that dude. That's 100% what's going on. He's not curious.
You don't think he's sniffing around?
What? Did
He
the guy have a
smells
Coca-Cola
meat.
in there?
That polar bear, look at this. That polar bear smells that man's meat. That's why he's doing this. This has nothing to do with curiosity. He is trying to bite that box to eat that man. 100 million%.
I mean, this is insane.
Yeah, because polar bears only eat meat. They're not like any other bear. They're the most predatory of all bears because they don't have any other options. They don't have any vegetables. There's no grass. All they eat is fucking seals or anything else.
Yeah, photographers sometimes.
Anything that's there. Polar bears will come for you.
So what do you do in that situation?
Dude.
Pray.
I heard the most terrifying
Wait it
story
out.
of these explorers. They were on an icebreaker. And they were on an icebreaker. I don't even know if this is true.
What's
but I'm
an
gonna tell you
icebreaker?
like
Oh,
it's
an
true.
icebreaker is
So
a
they're
boat.
out there in wherever the polar bears live.
Yeah.
And they have a leak in their boat. And they have to literally get off the boat because the boat's sinking.
Yeah.
So they make their way to an ice raft. They get off the boat onto this ice raft. And they wait. And there's multiple hours before someone can come get them. And they see a polar bear.
Oh, fuck.
And they see a polar bear on a neighboring ice raft.
Yeah.
And he's looking at them and he stands up and boom, comes up in the water
fuck.
and pops up on the next one next to it.
Oh,
And they're like, oh man. Boom, back in the water, pops up on the next one next to it until he's right next to them. He dives in the water, comes up onto their ice raft, takes one of the guys, grabs him, pulls him into the water, swims with him over to the other one, and starts eating him. Fuck. Right in front of those dudes.
Holy shit.
So they're standing there going, "What the fuck?" And then
Where
the
do you
boat
think it
comes.
was heading? Al?
Put their getaway before.
And then the boat comes.
So they had to watch their
rest
friend
of
get
the
eaten by a fucking polar
They
bear.
have to watch their friend get eaten alive by a
Oh,
polar
that's
bear.
fucking
And they eat you alive too. They don't bother killing you.
Do you have
They
any
just start
friends that
eating you.
died from like grizzlies or anything like that?
No, I don't. I do have friends that have been chased by grizzlies and attacked by grizzlies.
And what happened?
Brown bears. Well, most of the time, it's what they're trying to do is scare you. Most of the time, it's like a female with her cubs, and you just zigged when you should have zagged.
That's his thing. He thinks he could zag at the right moment.
There's no zagging with bears, and that's happened with friends where they got charged. You know,
Shot at them?
Cameron.
That happened with Cameron?
No, he never had to do that. But Steve Ranella from that show Meat Eater has a horrifying story. Of they had shot an elk on a Fognak Island, which is this island in Alaska where the biggest brown bears live. These things are fucking huge, man. Like 11-foot tall bears.
Right.
They're monsters.
Right.
And they killed this elk. And when they went back to retrieve it, they noticed bear shit.
Uh-oh.
And they ignored it, and they said, let's just sit down and have lunch,
Bad
then we'll
move.
carry this meat out of there. And they heard a noise, and then they turned, and there was this fucking giant beast just running through the camp. And they all stood up, and guys were falling over each other. The bear was like running right past them. One guy, this guy's name's Dirtmouth, wound up on top of the bear as it was running down the hill
Holy shit.
for like 30 feet. Falls off onto the ground. The bear runs off into the woods and starts hoofing at them. And they scramble back to the camp. They didn't have their guns on them. The guns were sitting there. All they were doing was eating lunch. They had no idea it was going to happen this fast. And then all of a sudden, then they've got guns. They've got to try to back out of there.
Wow.
But the bear had claimed their elk.
Of course.
Oh, it took their kill?
You got
Yes.
they got off
He
easy,
decided
buddy.
it was theirs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they got off easy.
Just lost an elk. Who cares?
Who cares?
They're lucky. That's
I don't
all
even
the
know
bear
if they
was.
lost the whole elk. I think they only lost part of it. I think they were in the process of cutting it up and shipping it and moving it back to their camp, which was like a couple of miles away in this rugged terrain. This thing just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Is it just the bear that you have to worry about?
You got to worry about everything, man. That's the thing that's great about the woods is that it's a human reset. When you're like legitimately out in the mountains, it's a human reset.
Right.
Because you realize like, no one gives a fuck who you are out here. No one gives a fuck about you.
Yeah.
Everything here is trying to do their thing.
Right.
The bulls are literally killing each other to fuck. They're
Right.
killing each other.
What do you mean?
They grow weapons.
Yeah.
Every year.
Out of
That's
their
all
heads.
these
To
things are.
compete?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
kill
males-
each other.
male
I didn't know they attack each other.
That's
how the
all they
female
do.
chooses,
the whole
dog.
thing.
The males will there'll be competition. Whoever
Yeah.
wins as the dominant male, that's who the female will mate with.
Dude.
And mates with all of them?
Two bull
Whoever
elks
the most,
fighting.
whenever she's in
You gotta
like
see
heat
it.
or whatever,
Yeah.
that's when male competition happens. She's saying, "I'm going to choose the dominant male because I want the strongest genes for my offspring.
Yeah.
I control this because I got the edge."
So look what
y'all
happens.
choose.
Look, they start smashing at the water. Those are two big ass bulls.
No.
And they decided they both want to be the king shit of the herd. And so they have to go to war. So if you are in the woods and you're elk hunting and you hear clackety clack, 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 clackety clack, you're like, oh shit, they're fighting. And you could run in and kill one of those bulls because they're distracted.
Yeah. Have you seen when they get locked up?
Yes.
Sometimes they'll like lock up their antlers and then they'll just die that way.
Dude, I've watched this personally from, 50 yards away.
Really?
It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. It's wild.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
And then what happened?
Well, in my situation, the wind was bad and we never really could get a shot. It was like there was too many trees and shit for us. By the time we got to them, they had smelled us and took off.
What's the biggest
They
animal
smell you.
could beat the shit out of?
I don't think I could beat the shit out of a monkey.
No.
I'm really scared a monkey would fuck me up.
What about a wolf?
I'm not kidding. Did you
Arian,
see that
if you remember-
video? Did you ever see that video of a monkey who pulls that strip of that dude's head off?
Oh, monkeys are freakishly strong.
It just climbs. This guy's like trying to be peaceful. He's like on his like sitting crisscross applesauce, and the monkey comes and sits on him. It's like, hello, my friend. He's like, and the monkey just bites his head and pulls a giant chunk of his scalp off and runs away.
Can you get that up, Mark?
I mean, pulls like a fucking Subway sandwich sized chunk of scalp from this dude's head. I'm not bullshitting. Like this big.
Do we have monkeys in America?
No, we do not.
What about South America?
South America has some monkeys, yeah.
Arian Foster, who's a football player, he said I could take a wolf.
Yeah, he was crazy. We talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, do you
we
think-
did a podcast together. That's ridiculous.
No chance.
No, impossible.
Even you're a wrestler.
No chance. You would get. It's literally like a machine that crushes moose bones.
Okay. Okay. So no animals.
A
really.
wolf's bite is 5 times stronger than a pit bull's.
Okay.
Did you see this?
And their
one?
teeth are designed to crush bone.
Oh, this is the craziest shit I ever seen. What are you
Would
doing in
you
this
do
situation?
So this is a family that went to Thailand for like a trip, okay? If I'm not mistaken. So they're like hanging out and they go to like an orangutan exhibit. Oh, no. And this is like this is not graphic, but this is one of the things that they do.
Oh, no. I'm too high for this. Watch this lady get bit.
but she's just chilling there, and then they do like an orangutan experience, and this is what happens. He walks up behind her.
Do you see
He
what he's
starts
grabbing?
grabbing her boobs,
He's,
Smiling, tongue
and then
out.
he smiles and then just dips. But I don't think I would want to be that close to an orangutan ever in my life.
no.
Yeah, it's not necessary. If that thing wanted to, it could pull you apart like a roll of toilet paper. Just shh.
Yeah.
It could pull you apart like you were nothing.
Yeah, these people
Like
are-
we think of like, oh, it's not that much bigger than me. It's like it's kind of the same size as me. It's not even the same thing.
Yeah, strength to weight ratio.
We're made out of jelly donuts. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There's not a goddamn animal where you wouldn't be able to fight off a feral cat.
Bears are the scariest animal. I'm glad we actually cleared that up.
I think they're one of the scariest.
I accept that as an apology.
but
from
big
all of you.
cats might be even scarier.
Yeah, I'm more afraid of a big cat.
Big cats are
Why?
scary.
Way
as
more
fuck.
afraid of
I don't know, bears, I feel like I could get away, or if I feel like I could do something. But with a tiger or a lion, I'm being dead serious. But with a tiger or lion, I feel like there's nothing.
Do you remember
I
when you scared me with the bear thing?
No, what was
When
it?
we were, do you remember this? I forget where we were. We were at some comedy club. I told you about my fear of bears, and I was like on edge all day because I was like going through all my childhood trauma with bears, and then you just popped out of nowhere at the comedy club. I think we're in like Salt Lake City.
Did you have a lot of childhood trauma with bears?
I mean, kind of. As a kid, it was the scariest thing in the world because we would just be sitting in our house, and all of a sudden, all the trash cans would rattle, and I'm like 6 years old, and all the dogs would start barking crazy, and then we'd run outside, and there'd be a bear there.
and Florida bears are like Florida people.
They're all
very unpredictable.
smoking PCP. These bears, they're crazy.
Unpredictable, running from the law.
Wearing Trump hats.
Yeah, they got guns and shit, bro. These bears have guns, dude. And I would go outside and I would just bump into one. And then I'd run inside. And I'm like 6 years old. And then my family found out about it. They bought a bear mask. And then we had a full bear mask, and I'd be sleeping in my bed, 8 years old. My brother kicks in the door, wakes me up, and growling, and I'd wake up, and there'd be a bear in front of me.
Yo, this is amazing.
I
So
told
we
you
made
all
fun
this.
of you because of this?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to a lot of things you said earlier when you were opening up. I'll be
I
honest
got
with
so
you.
terrified
Yeah.
of bears. And then they knew once I got comfortable with the bear mask, then they just flipped the mask inside out.
Oh, my
so
God.
it was like just a beige.
Oh, and then we
like-
did something. Did we print out a
we were
picture?
planning to do it. We
Yeah.
never
Oh,
did
I
it.
don't know if we ever did it, but we
still
wanted
coming.
to
It's
scare
still
you with a
coming.
full
Yeah.
bear costume.
I was terrified.
It's still coming.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Please
it's gonna-
don't.
It's gonna come.
That's the scariest animal.
Real bears are fucking. They're weird to see, because you actually see them in the wild. Like I saw one grizzly, and it wasn't a big one. It was only about 6 feet tall, but it stood up and it was looking at us. It was looking at us in a totally different way than anything's ever looked at me.
I saw
was
a
like,
bear when
oh,
I was in
no.
fucking Montana, and its cub. Nothing. It didn't. I was
it a
biking.
black bear? Might have been a black bear.
Maybe a black bear.
Did you see
I don't
Grizzly
believe
Man?
you.
I swear to God on my life. I was
The
at my
bears
boy
are everywhere.
Edmundo's bachelor party. We're doing a bike trip.
I don't believe you. You need to get high more often.
I have video.
He's not,
video of the bear.
He's not arguing with you. He's fighting against the feeling the weed is bringing inside of you.
What is the feeling?
I don't think I'm high anymore. I think it passed. It's
Oh
over.
yeah, you're fine.
Okay, let's get him a little bit more then.
More afraid of bears
Yo,
or
give
sharks?
us a blunt because we're in New York.
Depends on
we
where you
gotta-
are.
We gotta smoke a backwood.
Oh yeah, pop these out. Yo,
On the ground?
Bring the whole joint over here.
Yeah,
On the ground.
No, give the whole thing. Oh, we got the dipped ones. That's too crazy for me. But just bring out the whole thing over, and then we could choose.
So here's my answer. On the ground, a bear is not as scary as a shark is in the water.
Oh, bro.
Shark is the apex.
I
there
am
we
way more afraid of sharks. Way more afraid of alligators.
Yeah.
Way more afraid of. Have you ever smoked a backwood, Joe?
Yeah.
You really have?
Yeah.
Who the fuck you smoke a backwood?
I'm telling you, it's
Oh,
not
a lot
that
of
unique
them.
to New York.
No.
I thought this is like a Brooklyn, New York thing.
No, they spread
South
around.
thing.
Charlie
It's more
Murphy
South
introduced
thing.
me to
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
the concept back in the day. He was the first guy I ever smoked blunts with, and I was like, oh.
Wait, really?
I was like, this is better.
Yeah.
Blunts are better. But you just have to admit that you're enjoying the tobacco. Like there's a conversation online with me and Wiz Khalifa about that. He's like, why do you like blunts? I go, I think I like the tobacco. He's like, I'm glad you're honest about that. A lot of people, they don't want to admit that they like that tobacco part.
Yeah.
But the tobacco is not good for you, right?
But it's awesome.
I
would smoke
That's
cigarettes.
why I like cigars.
Oh yeah, Schulz after a few beers. Oh,
I love a
cigars?
cigarette.
He's
no,
lighting
no,
up a
cigarette. I don't really like
yeah.
cigars that much, but cigarettes are great. I love a cigarette.
Well, you know what cigarettes do? They give you a head. Ooh, that's nice. They give you a head rush. That's good stuff. Cigarettes give you
not
a.
spoken in 2 hours.
We talked about his legs. He said, he's thinking, he's going, I can never make my legs bigger. If John Jones can't do it,
Still think about John Jones. Yes, I'm just about
Apex. That's Apex. You
You think he's the best ever, bro?
Where's my baby?
There's a
boy?
real good argument he's the best ever, but I don't
Really?
think there is one best ever, honestly.
Why not?
Because I think it's like there's so many variables. There's like the quality of the competition. There's the length of the reign. There's so many. There's like weight classes like 125.
Yeah.
But there's a real argument that Mighty Mouse is the greatest of all time. A real argument.
Did you
In
see
his-
that fight
in his
against
prime.
the Muay Thai guy?
Yes,
that was
amazing.
sick, dude.
Amazing.
I love that Muay Thai.
Because he had to get through that first round, Rodtang.
Yeah.
He had to go through that first
Rodtang.
round before he can
Do what he
utilize
did.
MMA. It was a crazy rule set. I like how they did it.
I'm getting
They said, Get high, son.
Yeah, they did one
One
round.
round Muay Thai,
He's young,
one
man.
round MMA.
Yeah.
And
then one round Muay Thai, one round MMA. It only went 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
Mighty Mouse had to do was get through that first round, essentially.
Yeah.
And then he took him down quick. And got his back.
I got about to die. You good, son? You want one more?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Once he took him down, it was a wrap. But it was so interesting to see him like respect the distance. Like that first round, Rodtang was just walking straight into him. He didn't give a fuck. Mighty Mouse even landed a couple shots. But the second round, when he knew that there was like jiu-jitsu at play or wrestling or anything, to see him backing up, keeping like 4 feet in between the two of them, like going, I cannot engage with this guy because if he gets me on the ground, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Mighty Mouse is legit. And him leaving the UFC and then going over and fighting with completely different rule sets too. They have a thing they did over there where they allow people to soccer kick your head on the ground.
Yeah, that's fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can knee to the head on the ground and you can soccer kick.
That's
to the head.
legitimately crazy.
But is it that much crazier than the rules that exist?
Yeah, guys, damn near unconscious. You can just kick the fuck out of his head.
You don't mean when he's unconscious. You mean when
I mean,
on the
when he's
ground.
going out, I mean, he's still awake.
Damn near.
Yeah, no, he's right. It's tricky. It's very tricky.
I don't know
The problem is, it's like for us, like for one single blow, it's one of the most powerful things a person can do. Because it's a natural human movement, right? It's a natural human movement to just do that. That's so normal. Everybody knows how to run. So anybody who runs can probably kick a soccer ball pretty fucking hard. And when someone is going out and they're already like collapsed and the referee can't get to him in time, that person, if you can't soccer kick them in the head, might survive. Because you get on top of them and you ground and pound them. Maybe they deflect some stuff and maybe they clinch. Maybe the referee he might pull out of this and he'd go. But if you were allowed a soccer kick,
Yeah.
a lot of those fights
are done.
A lot of those fights are done. If you're allowed a soccer kick. And you just go watch some of the fights in Japan. Japan allowed soccer kicks. But it was different because Japan allowed it in a ring. And in the ring, you can kind of move
with
around
the
the
cage.
ring. The cage, you can't go anywhere. So soccer kicks in a cage are uniquely problematic because you could get to a position where you're pinned. Your head is pinned, the cage is here, and a guy could just punt your fucking face, which is, I mean, I can't imagine getting hit harder than that. But it's happened, and it's been a big factor in the fights where it does happen, where you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Where you're allowed to kick a guy or knee a guy in the head when they're down. And so what ONE FC I think has decided is they're going to allow that. And it's like
The
ooh.
soccer kicks.
Yeah, I've seen some rough ones.
Would you ever get dropped?
I've been dropped. I've never been knocked unconscious, but
Yeah.
I got TKO'd.
Oh, really?
I got hit with a left hook, and my legs gave out. They went like boink. Good night.
Is
It was
there
really
video?
interesting. It didn't hurt. It was like they just shut off.
Yeah.
They just shut off, and then I got back up, and then I got hit with an uppercut, and the referee stopped the fight. But it was I was conscious the whole time, but I was aware that I was like ready to go out.
Sparring ever been close?
No, never been knocked out. I've been hurt for sure. I've been dropped. I've been probably, I don't know how many times I've been hit really hard where I had to like go home. But that's totally normal.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem with any kind of combat sport is like when you're learning, it's not just the fights that you have that give you damage. It's also all the training.
Yeah.
Like what Shaw was talking about with training with that guy, Shane Carwin.
Yeah.
He said Shane used to like ring his bell all the time.
Yeah.
Like that's where I would see a lot of guys that had like one pro fight. Do you know who Jerry Quarry is?
How do you spell it? Oh, the boxer?
Jerry Quarry, the boxer.
Yeah, the boxer,
It's
yeah.
a famous story because Jerry Quarry fought Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was like, in a lot of people's eyes, like, wow, how did he hang in there with Muhammad Ali? It's like sort of like this story where people are like romanced and like, he gave it a great shot.
Yeah.
But he was one of those guys that was a very good fighter in an age of very great fighters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he fought the best of the best and took some tremendous beatings. But his brother, who I think had very few fights, had just as much brain damage as him.
Wow.
And his brother and him used to spar.
So it's all that training.
And part of it, so it's not one or the other. It's obviously fighting Muhammad Ali is terrible for your brain.
Yes.
Right? Obviously, all those other great fighters he fought
But those-
were probably
Terrible for his brain.
But
The
those
sparring
sparring
wars.
sessions cannot be denied.
Yeah.
Dude, there's, you know who James Toney is?
Fuck yeah.
Of course, you know. I mean,
Fuck yeah.
If James Toney is an amazing boxer, and he also played he played Frazier. Not for Walt Frazier, but Joe Frazier
Frazier.
in the Ali movie.
The one that with Will
With
Smith.
Will Smith.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, remember? Anyway, so
I never watched that movie, to be honest. I
pretty
watched
I keep
crazy.
telling you to watch movies and
I-
you don't fucking watch them. But did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No, I haven't, because I haven't gone to the movies yet. I'm waiting for it.
Have you spoken to Ari
It was
about it?
streaming? Yeah. He loved it. He loved it.
We had like a long.
What are you going to see first, that or Top Gun?
Bro, you got to see Top Gun.
That, I'm going to see that. Top Gun, I've got to be high, so I'm going to be home.
Top Gun?
You can't watch Top Gun sober.
Yes, you can.
Not me.
Why not?
Not me. I need to be intoxicated.
What's
Why?
the
So you
drug?
can admit how hot Tom Cruise is without
That's
feeling
it.
weird about it?
No, I'm cool with that part. No.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second because I got to tell y'all about Athletic Greens. It's very simple. Get your greens in your body. Get more than you actually need every single day. Use some Athletic Greens. It's a little bit of powder. You can't dump that in some water and slurp it down. Get everything your body needs and more for the day immediately first thing in the morning. It's literally that simple. I use it every day. I started taking AG1 because with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all the things, okay? I'm telling you, I care about this shit. I care about being healthy, man. This life is good and I want to keep living it. And the best way to do it is make sure that you consume the things that are good for your body because you need your body to have a good life, my friends. AG is looking after you, making you have that great body that you need. It's lifestyle friendly. Whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, some of the other ones, it's there for you. Works for all of them, okay? You're investing in your health and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. Think about that. You have shit. Think about that. That's worth it, is it not? Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/flagrant. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/flagrant to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Now let's get back to the show. Yo, who's the hottest guy?
That's a good question. Probably Thor, right?
Dude,
Thor
Chris,
the fucking joint,
don't do
dog.
that. Don't, right, guys? Hey, you guys agree, right?
Yeah.
Jason Momoa. It's between Jason Momoa and Thor. Did you ever watch his workouts?
No,
like
but-
people
yeah.
go, he's taking steroids.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously, yeah.
For sure, USADA's not knocking on Chris Hemsworth's door, but you don't get that big without immense amounts of hard work.
Yeah.
There's no way. You just don't.
that.
People think he's just taking steroids. Bro, relax.
Can you get those girls off the screen? And can we get back to that hot guy, Mark?
Thank
Thanks
you,
a lot,
bro.
dude.
My bad, dude.
Come on, yeah.
P-Valley's
He's
the
You gotta use an ad blocker, bro.
Son, Al is trying so hard to participate. It's so funny.
Isn't he good looking? Hey, Al, isn't he good looking?
He's kind of hot.
Who's your number one guy, Al?
Who is it?
Actually, you know what? How long we've been doing this podcast? I know Al's number one guy.
Okay, go.
It's the guy from This Is Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you.
A drama?
No, yeah, it's
I watch
it's
it,
you know,
dude.
Al's obviously into white guys.
Oh, it's the
Obviously.
white guy from This Is Us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Justin Hartley.
Justin
There you go.
Hartley.
See,
He's no
he knows
Thor,
big.
bro.
I
He's
would recall
Diet
that if
Thor,
I was
bro.
taking-
Is he a
I'm not
brunette?
Chris
Is he a
Hemsworth.
brunette?
Yeah, because
That's like the ultimate insult. You know Thor,
left.
bro.
What?
You're no Thor.
I mean,
Who is? No,
that's
not
your
that guy.
number
No.
one guy. Bro, hold on. That's your number one guy of any
That's
dude
the guy
in the
who
fucking
created
planet.
The show. That's the guy who. No, that's Jason.
This is the guy.
Cadams.
Piers Morgan is funny.
Top
yeah,
bro.
Not Thor guy.
now it's okay, right? He's like, oh yeah, he's
He's not number one, though. Pale face. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Chris
picking all
Hemsworth.
the same guy. Like I want
Who's your number one, Akash?
Idris Elba.
Really?
That's a
It's everything
That's a
about
whack
Idris.
number
Watch
one, bro.
Luther. Tell me you don't fall in love with Idris Elba.
He likes
Watch
personality.
Luther.
It's fucking weird.
No, it's not personality.
What's the character in the show? He's so charming.
Yo, it's not
He
personality.
saves the day.
It's not personality. He just has a confidence about him.
It's even gayer. It's even gayer. Oh, he's so witty.
No. It's confidence.
Dude, that's all it is. Yeah, Joe's just about body, dude. Grow up,
Joe,
bro.
you're so superficial with your
Like a
Jews.
guy's personality a little bit. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Nah,
I'm learning and
It's just a
growing.
little old for me.
That's right. It's Chris.
See, so that's the difference
Who's your
between
number
you.
one?
See, you're assuming you would be the top. He's assuming he would be the bottom. That's what that was.
That's a great point. That is
That's
exactly
100% what it is. He's like, Ildris is my man.
Oh, you think-
and you're like too old.
Joe. You think you finna top out Thor? You think?
No, that's a good ass point.
That's exactly right. What is his point?
You think you're gonna top out Thor? You think you're not Thor's bottom?
No, I don't think that. But I don't think about Thor in that way. I don't think about Thor in that way. You're the one who's submitting
I
to
think
this.
you do, Joe.
How dare
I
you?
think we both think about it the way we think about it.
Listen,
I'm offended.
you couldn't top out Thor, bro?
Nah.
What do you mean?
He's blonde.
He wouldn't want to.
like, yo, blonde,
Hey,
go for it.
why would you want to?
No, I gotta top
Nah,
out
you just
Thor,
got a
dude.
throat going.
Idris.
So you can stare at
You don't want to flip him
I
over.
gotta be able to still see this thing while I'm taking it, bro.
How can I lie on his back?
He gotta be missionary. Yo, look at me, Thor. Stop fucking around, bro.
Oh my God.
It's Prime Month. We out here.
I respect that.
Mark, you haven't said anything. Catholicism have anything to do with it?
The most beautiful man is Jesus Christ.
Yo, real
All of
talk
our
though.
Lord and Saviors, dude.
No, Jesus got
Yo,
it.
all y'all gay.
Fire
actually.
stories.
Or Malibu from American Gladiator, bro.
Oh yeah, Mark got ombre in his hair one time.
Because of Malibu. Dude.
One time.
Malibu.
Does he keep doing it?
It was once. But yeah, bro, Malibu's my number one.
Yeah,
You kidding me?
Malibu kind of got it, bro.
Come on, dude.
No,
Have you ever been to a furry convention?
Oh,
What? I'm talking about weird things. You want to talk about?
What?
For real. We're talking about who you're attracted to, right? Do you know what those people do?
Yes, I do. He's too high to have a conversation.
It's perfect. It's perfect. There was a UFC once,
No.
and it was in
a
Pittsburgh.
UFC furry convention,
No,
bro.
bro.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm trying to tell you a story.
I thought it was both. I was
There
like,
was a
that's crazy.
UFC once
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh, And the day we flew into town was the same day as a furry convention.
Okay.
So we land at the airport.
Yeah.
We get the rental car. We're driving to the hotel. And along the way, we're like, what the fuck is going on?
So what'd you do? You like hop out and suck their dicks? Or what?
Jesus, bro.
They're animals.
Marijuana's not good for everybody, ladies and gentlemen. If we've learned anything today, it's don't give in to peer pressure.
Imagine he ate meat.
When some drug addict offers you their daily drug of choice and you never
much more
smoke
high
weed, don't listen to them.
Thank you.
Bro,
He's much more high than me.
I'm not high, but I got a piss.
Well, you should probably go ahead and do that.
Hold on. So the furry convention, go. You guys
Yeah.
pull up.
So
Who is it? It's you? Who?
I don't remember who was with me at the time. It was probably some of the folks that worked at the UFC. We're probably, I don't remember, but I remember that as we were on our way to the hotel, we were like, why is everyone dressed like a mascot?
Yeah.
Like I was like, what is going on? And we're passing by, like, what the fuck is happening here? And then somebody figured out that it was a furry convention. And by the time we got to the hotel, we became friends with the guy who worked at the front desk. And he goes, dude, I'm so glad normal people are staying here too. I go, what do you mean? He goes, most of the hotel is furries. I go, what? I go, well, what's the big deal? He goes, dude, they want a litter box.
No.
They asked for a litter box to put in the front courtyard. I go,
That is
what?
disgusting.
They literally they requested a litter box. They were eating all of their food off of bowls.
Bro.
I'm like, are you fucking serious? He goes, no, dude, it's
aren't
like
crazy. We
there's
eat
different. He goes, there's not. He goes, I'm not saying everybody's doing it. He goes,
I
there's
don't think
different
he meant,
levels.
like cereal bowls.
I'm just saying we also use bowls. It's not the craziest
I think he
thing.
meant pet bowls.
Litter
On
box
the
is
floor,
wilder.
Some of these people are like
Asians.
doing party drugs and fucking each other while they're wearing their costumes, and
That's
they never
fire.
take the costumes off.
I love that.
Burning it.
I mean, that's crazy.
That's not. You think that's that crazy?
I don't think it's that crazy.
I just don't like that they're
No,
it's
the
like-
litter box is fucking
But
insane.
they gotta have
It's
the
insane.
Pixar bodies though. The Pixar animals are fire.
That's my point.
Right? The Pixar animals got the
dumb dumpsters.
But I don't like that they're cartoon animals. Like, I like animals. If you're gonna dress up like one, be like an actual
Yo,
realistic
Mark,
bear.
Mark.
Stop. Like the one that scared you as a child.
What the fuck is he doing, bro?
Be a full blown
Yo,
bear.
Mark, what type of bears you really like? Rainbow shirt?
Bro, we got you in a Pink Floyd shirt. Isn't that crazy?
Do you like Pink Floyd?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
He
It's
loves
like
them.
The gays own the rainbow. We all know this.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Wait, Pink
I don't
Floyd.
like that you pointed at me when he said gay.
But the rainbow.
He pointed at me. He was like, the gays.
Oh yeah,
own the
rainbows
rainbow.
are theirs
That's
now.
theirs.
They
Gotta
got
give it up.
that, bro.
They got that.
Damn, man. How do we get back the rainbow? We
We have to share it.
They
We
can
have to
keep
share it. I
They can
think.
keep it.
I bet if Crim's
Come on, bro.
That's his brother.
fire one too. Damn, Merry Crim. Merry Crim, everybody. Back it up, Terry. That's what my brain tells me every single time I say it.
Greatest video ever.
Do you know about Terry? You know about Back It Up, Terry?
Back it up, Terry.
You haven't seen Back It Up, Terry?
I might have.
It's
You've
a great,
definitely
it's a
seen
great
Back It Up,
video.
Terry.
Have I?
Mark,
What is it?
Mark, please get Back It Up, Terry.
Let
right
me
now.
pull it up. One second.
This is Back It Up, Terry.
Okay, hold
Why
on.
am I scared?
You've
No,
never seen
this
this?
is actually really fun.
Bro.
Put that volume up.
Bro, this shit is unreal. Okay,
Without
so
volume, we're fucked.
all right, so this dude Terry's in a wheelchair. It's a motorized wheelchair. He's lighting a firework with his family on 4th of July.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay.
Hold your hand, Chico. Hold on. 2 cars come.
2 cars coming, they're being saved.
2 cars come 2 different ways. 2 cars come 2 different ways. Bag up, bag up. Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.
Doesn't try to help him at all.
You can't, yo.
Oh my god.
You can't help them.
Just the
best video ever, bro. Come on, bro.
So good.
You need to get Terry. You need to get.
Do you want to see a dude?
He didn't even move the camera.
That shit was perfectly stabilized.
He was worried about the cars, but as soon as the fireworks started going
Hold
off.
on, what you got for us? What you got for us?
Do you want to see a dude get his hand blown off by a firecracker?
That's way less fun.
And then chug a beer?
You want to see a guy get his Subway sandwich taken out of his hand, bro?
That's what I'm saying. I like the way you think.
Yo, back it up, dude. What do we got? Tell Mark that's
Trying to find this video. Oh, here it is. I found it. Watch this. Go full screen. This is
So what is
fucked.
this?
You're gonna see.
Oh,
so
gosh.
these guys are drinking
Jason
apparently.
Peter Paul video.
And one guy has a firework in his hand.
This is
no,
Giants
no.
fan?
Oh gosh.
Watch this. So they drink. The firework goes off.
Can't even realize that shit happened. He's so drunk.
fuck.
And now, no. Now,
This shit is. Oh, this.
the guy who just had the firework go off in his hand stands up. And he's holding up his hand.
Oh.
And now
He's
watch
just-
this. Watch this.
Then it's like, yeah, white boy shit.
Drinks his
I'm telling
beer.
you, son.
Yo.
I mean, I don't know what happened to his hand, but that should never happen to your hand.
That's crazy.
It's a claw.
Okay.
Bro.
Why are you
what I'm
so
saying.
high, dude? This is embarrassing. I'm fine.
You're not high at all?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's in it. Al's high.
Yeah. Just bad.
Mark, you're not high at all?
You guys are such
He
rookies.
smoked.
You guys are such rookies. You get high and you go, "Are you high? I'm high." What about you? I feel so
rookie,
high.
Joe.
This is the
literally
problem.
his
Joey
first
Diaz
time.
used to get so mad at me when I first started getting high. He goes, "Joe Rogan, I'm tired of hearing about this. I know you're fucking high. We're all high, cocksucker. We're all high." But rookies always want to talk about how high they are.
Yeah, that change in state.
Just let it go.
Yeah, all right.
Let it go. Let it go. Watch this dude's fingers get munched by a lion.
Oh my gosh.
This is the dumbest fucking thing of all time.
This one I guess I feel a little better about because he kind of
He's
asked
asking
for it.
for it, bro.
How many fingers did he lose?
Nope.
Spoiler alert.
How many?
Oh, fuck me, dude.
So he's fucking with this lion.
Fuck me, bro.
And then,
That's hilarious.
Jesus, don't make me watch this again and again and again. Ah,
Yeah.
fuck.
Get that.
He does deserve it, though. Fully. Fully
Dude,
deserves
it's
it.
a thing like you're not going to win.
Yeah, bro. And the more you pull, like,
Oh, boy. I saw a tendon.
Stop.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude.
Mark is going to pull up more for sure.
Did I tell you
yeah.
about the mountain lion that I saw in Utah?
No. Is that a lake?
No, this was in the woods. We were driving, luckily, because we were in a car. We were in a truck. And this dude I was with, my friend Colton, he stops the truck, goes, stop, look under that tree. And I go, oh my God. You see a big cat, big, with a head like a pumpkin. It's like 30 yards away. And I have binoculars on, so I'm looking at it through binoculars. I'm like, holy shit, man. It's like 180 pounds. Just this fucking cat just sitting there. Big ass pumpkin head, wild eyes that are reflecting the headlights off of the truck. Oh, God. It's like, this is crazy. And then it darts behind that tree and it's off in the woods. Like gone, like nothing.
oh god.
I'm like, you just, when you see something like that that's that close to you physically, you're like, what? Well, this idea, I'm going to stab it. I'm going to fucking, when it comes for me, you ain't doing shit, bitch. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing but dying. You're not doing nothing.
It is humbling, right? You get around
Fuck,
John and we're
dude,
like,
I was in a car.
Yeah.
I was in the car and I was terrified.
Why do white people do this shit? Are y'all just that bored, bro?
I was in a car.
you felt pretty safe, bro.
Why do we do it, Joe?
I felt pretty safe.
I've never seen any of these animals in my life because I enjoy
Yeah, but
living.
you enjoy. Corey Anderson hunts. He hunts a lot. Corey from now on at Bellator used to fight for the UFC. Where's that cigar lighter?
You want the shrooms?
No, the cigar lighter.
Here.
Oh, thank you.
I don't get it.
You don't get it. Because you haven't done it. But if you did it, you would get it. Like if you eat meat and you actually get a chance to go and get it yourself, It's a different experience.
I remember talking to you about this. I was like, do you think we'll ever get the dopamine hit that people back in the day got from like bringing a fucking deer back to their tribe or some shit? We'll never get that level of satisfaction of like killing something and then bringing it back home.
And then everybody gets to live.
For sure. If you catch a fish, right? You get excited. Why? Because a long time ago that meant your family would eat.
Yeah.
That's why it's exciting. Oh, I got a big one. Oh shit. Oh shit. Even if you're not gonna keep it, even if you're gonna like catch and release, you're still excited if you get a big fish that's gonna feed everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna live today. I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
So that's what the fishermen are tapping into, the guys who just release it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And no one would deny that. No one would deny that. It taps into like ancient genetic memories we have of catching fish to feed our village.
Yeah.
We have a buddy that
I've been fishing before. That's just boring until you finally catch a fish.
Right, but when you get one, how
that's the
exciting
happiness
is it?
is like, hey, we're finally doing something.
You might not be into it. I'm not saying that you're into it so much so that the boring parts, like fishing is boring as fuck until it's not.
Yeah.
That's what fishing is. So if you don't like the boring parts enough to get to where it's not boring, it's no big deal. But the experience you get when it's not boring is undeniable. Everybody, when you catch a big fish, you're like, oh shit! Yeah. And you see it coming.
No, that's fun.
It's genetic, man. It's like in our system. That's gonna feed us. That's why it's like a weird primal jolt of excitement. And it's built-in memory because you had to have that because it would reward you for providing for your family.
Do people get that same thing out of cooking?
I bet. Yeah.
Right? Like,
this is a satisfaction you get from cooking.
I can't imagine it's anywhere near the same.
no, not the same,
No,
but
no,
I guess
no,
like
no,
I'm trying
but
to understand like why there is this love of cooking, and it has to be baked into our DNA a little bit because you're providing a meal for these people that you love.
Yeah, it's not like it's probably more similar than you would think. Because I think like when someone decides to cook for a group of people and they all sit down and really love it, I bet they get an excitement that's very similar to like when a successful hunter knows that he's going to feed his family. There's like a thing like you provided, like you gave a bunch of people a good feeling. That's really what it's all about. Yes.
It probably
What a dork, dude.
I mean that
What
for
a
real.
fucking dork.
No, I think about that for real. Like I think it taps into like satisfying the tribe, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah, and you're rewarded for it with a dopamine rush.
Yeah.
We're all little dopamine junkies. I mean, that's what you're doing when you're trying to kill. You're trying to get smash. You just want to get big laughs.
Wait, does that feel like when you shoot the elk or whatever with the bow and arrow? Like that's what
No, that's very
does it feel like stand up? No.
No. But the thing, this is what's similar about them.
Yeah. How do you
have to
improv in that situation?
No, you don't. You really don't. Well, you do have to improvise sometimes. You have to move around.
We even got antlers. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's This is why it's. You gotta let him get off at that.
Let him go.
Oh my god! This is my most fun podcast ever.
Dopamine. Bro, it's the dopamine.
This is my most fun podcast I've ever been a part of. Ever.
Hey, Bullwinkle.
Never been a
Hey,
part.
look at this Bullwinkle, bro.
Bullwinkle's good.
Yeah, Bullwinkle's a good one, right?
Getting there.
Hey there, Moose. Hey, Moose, where you from?
Don't talk to moose, by the way.
Why?
Because they're the one animal that will kill you in the deer species.
What?
They'll chase you down and kill you.
But how would they kill
They're
me?
deer?
They'll stomp you to death. Moose they regularly stomp people to death. It's a normal thing. Most people avoid them at all costs, but if you fuck up and you're too close to a moose, they'll come for you. They're different. They're different than any other wild animal because they deal with wolves. So they're like real good at stomping. Real good at just stomping the fucking shit out of things. That's what they have to do. If you want to stay alive, if you're a moose, you gotta stomp the fucking shit out of everything near you. So if you're talking shit to a moose in a parking lot in Anchorage, Alaska, if you're talking shit to a moose in a parking lot in Anchorage, Alaska, you might get stomped to death.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's
that
not
happens.
Will Smith, bro. That's not a little slap. That's a stomp.
They stomp
real
you.
It's a Mr.
Yeah.
Miyagi right there.
They're 1,800 pounds when they're the giant bulls.
Yeah.
I might have made that up.
100% correct.
Check that number, bro.
I like your number better. No
what's
facts,
worse?
no facts.
Bro, you ever
Joe
seen elk
Rogan
fight?
fat shames elk.
Hey, so, remember we were talking about elk fighting and how crazy it is?
Yeah.
Moose fighting is next level.
Why?
Can we
Like
pull it out?
elk
Hit
is
it.
the welterweight division. Moose are heavyweight.
wow.
Moose are double the elk. Double the
1400.
size of an elk.
Up to
Easy.
1,400 pounds.
Have you ever eaten a
7
moose?
feet tall.
Huge. They're fucking gigantic. Yeah, I've eaten a moose.
So what's more dangerous for humans? Moose or
Moose,
bears?
100%. Or bears?
Bear.
Bears, for
Bears,
sure.
bears.
But
You
you
said
can
bears
avoid the
don't go after
moose.
human.
You can avoid the moose if you're really smart and you don't frighten them and you don't get between them and their calves. You're fine. They don't want to fuck with you. They're worried about you as a threat. Bears are worried about you as a threat too if they have cubs, but they also might be predatory. A bear could be very hungry, especially like older bears. Like that guy, Grizzly Man. You ever watch that documentary?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was crazy.
Bro.
What?
Bro. You never watched Grizzly Man?
No, what's grizzly?
They look like
It's
What?
the craziest documentary ever. But look at the size of these motherfuckers. Look at the size of these fuckers. These are like 1,500 pounds or 1,400 pounds.
They're like
enormous animals.
Yeah.
With huge like saloon doors growing out of the sides of their fucking heads. Look at the size of them. They're immense. And for them to survive, like they have to be able to fend off predators. So if you just get too close to them, they'll just fuck you up. Because they don't know what you are. They've never seen a person. They probably think you're a wolf.
Yeah.
You know, like if you get like next to a mother bull, if there's a bull elk, he might go after you if you like interrupt him, or if you get too close where he feels threatened by you. But the cows will stomp you if they have children. I have a friend who lives up there, and my friend Mike, shout out to Mike. He was on his horse and he was running from a cow moose. She was chasing him, and the horse was running full throttle and barely getting away from this cow that had decided to chase after him because they had gotten too close to her calves. Whoa. That's real world. That's not Twitter. Okay? All you fucking people that are putting your pronouns in your Twitter bio. Look at that! That's real world.
Yeah, we need to go hunting, boys.
You know?
I want to go on a hunting
I don't know if you
trip.
got it, bro.
So
I'll be
that
honest.
I don't know if I
something
need to
like
kill
that.
something. I'll be honest.
You
I
don't
don't know if
need
I need to kill.
You
but
you definitely don't need
I want to be around.
So
it.
what would you do if you were on a hunt? Like,
Scout.
What do you think his role could be?
I'm a scout.
No, if you're
You
gonna
could
go
just
on a
caddy.
hunt,
I'll carry your weaponry.
if you're gonna go on a hunt,
You're a squire.
I would carry your
You're a
weaponry.
squire now.
this is how you should do it if you really wanted to do it.
Okay.
If you wanted to go on a hunt, you should go hunt something that's like ethical, where you really there's an imperative, like they have to remove them, like wild pigs. That's a great example. It's a great thing to hunt because they literally have to. It's a terrible. The word cull is terrible. They're killing them because there's millions of them. They're destroying agriculture. Texas has a fucking giant number of wild pigs. So
Yeah, I can tell you that, boy. Fat bitches out there.
don't go there.
I'm a Texan, Joe.
He can
I
say
can make
this.
that jokes. Those are our words.
You can make it. So if you wanted to do a hunt where you would get meat out of it, you get the full experience, and it's really doing good, that's the best hunting.
It's pigs.
Wild pigs.
But I don't want to do that helicopter one. I think that's a little easy.
No. You want to do one like on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do like a real pig hunt. And it's not that difficult. These guys are shooting them at night. Yeah, that's a lot of people do that. They do it with thermal scopes.
That's pussy.
Yeah, I want to be during the day. I want to.
There's two things going on at the same time. There's like, how close do you want to get to a fair fight, which is ridiculous. You don't want to get close at all, so don't call anybody a pussy. Two, you got to eradicate them.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to
Don't call
eradicate
anybody a
them.
pussy.
You got to eradicate them, and what's the most efficient way possible?
Is there an animal that
Plants
doesn't
or vegetables.
that attacks humans other than I'm scared and I think he's a threat?
Yeah. If they
Sharks.
think that they can eat you, a lot of animals, if they think they can eat you. A woman in Canada got killed by coyotes. She was 19. She was like this promising folk singer, and she was like hiking in the woods, and she got killed by coyotes.
Just see, that's the thing about being white is you just got to do these fucking hikes.
Look at him assuming this girl was white.
Wow.
She's a folk singer.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Doesn't matter.
You know what I'm saying? A Canadian folk singer? What the fuck else, man? A fucking Cambodian? Canadian folk singer on a hike? Come on, I do math,
that's
Joe.
some good
I'm
white
Indian.
shit.
That's a good one. You're absolutely correct, sir.
I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Get in there, buddy.
Get in there, fellas.
You guys continue. You guys continue.
I've been waiting for this seat. Huh? Come on. It's been too long.
This is Joe Rogan's Flagrant right now. This is what it is. Welcome to the show, baby.
Keep rolling, bitch.
Yeah.
Come on.
Joe, the director has spoken.
Yeah, dude.
How is the marijuana treating you right now?
I just decided to let it be, and I feel fine.
I don't think you did.
I don't know if I should smoke more or what.
I think more.
Here's the thing. I don't want to be concerned about it, but I feel like this is the only time I'm going to get high in a long time. Never been high. I
Good.
should get high. But I also don't want to get fucking stupid baked where I'm useless on the podcast.
Right. I know
As
what
funny
you're
as it would be to
No,
see me
you
fall
passed the
asleep.
threshold, and at least you know the cap. Now you can just next time just take
Look
a
at
little
this.
baby dose.
Drug advice.
Yeah, right?
I don't want to do it a bunch.
Maybe not. Maybe
This
never
is-
do it again.
I'm
You're
the head
comedy
of, I'm the
Snoop
head
Dogg.
of HR.
I feel like I should smoke
So-
weed with you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Have you
I'm
ever been
honored.
so high on a pod that you couldn't function?
What is couldn't function? I could function poorly.
That's
You
a
got
good point.
that.
Okay, that's a better question.
What's that?
I could function poorly.
I'm
perhaps.
not high enough. Dove's saying I'm not high enough.
Oh, get a little bit more high.
He's fun. What are you doing?
Producing.
People,
He's
we
trying
got
to make
the
content, this
instigating.
guy, all the time. I'll pee soon. I'll give you the
Trying to
chair.
make content. All those goddamn content creators.
What a bunch of losers, huh? Fucking YouTube stars. Come on. Who does that? Who does such a thing?
What do you make your own show? Great. Want to watch your fucking show? Just you made it. Oh, your rules. You can't follow everybody's rules. Isn't that amazing that that's like the best thing you can do right now? Is this?
Yeah.
Like the best thing we could all do is this.
Yeah.
It's the best thing.
That's why we're indebted to you, yo. This is you.
Listen, man. It's no one's indebted to anybody. We're all indebted to each other. If there was only one person doing it, wouldn't be any fun.
I can't think of a single thing you might possibly owe me. I don't think we're all indebted to
It's
each
not
other.
an oh, man. No one owes anybody anything. We're all benefiting. Like we all benefit from being a part of a group of fun, interesting people. We all benefit, and it doesn't like. You know, you can make tallies and decide like who benefits this and who benefits that, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the only way any of this shit is fun is if there's many people doing it.
Yeah.
The only way it's fun is if you have all your friends having a great time doing the exact same thing. Like everybody's trying to do the thing, everybody's doing their own version of the thing. They're all doing it.
I don't think you realize that is a completely different paradigm. That's like that's not what we grew up in at all. And I do think you are at the forefront of that. You don't have to put yourself there, but you are.
Well,
we can all eat. This is for everybody. That's brand new.
Well, you have to recognize where weakness is in you. Like what bothers you about you? You know, and one of the things that used to bother me about me is that I would get weirded out by other people who are better than me at stuff, and I would not like them. And I'd be like, why do I not like them? Because they're better than me at something. Like, what is that fucking weird weakness?
Yeah.
And I realized it was like a fear that there was like a finite amount of success that existed.
Yes.
And then you could only have a certain amount for yourself. And if you were around other people that were doing well, it would somehow or another take something away from you.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I used to hate complimenting other people. And I think I was just so scared to show any vulnerability that I wouldn't do it. And now I'm like, yo, if I like anything you do, you deserve all the praise. I never want to hold that back. I'm just making this person feel not as good as he could.
Yeah.
I learned how to do that from a guy who was a pool hustler. I was really good friends with a dude when I lived in White Plains. Well, I always used to play pool in White Plains. I lived in New Rochelle, New York. And I met this dude. His name was Johnny. And he was like this mathematical genius who was also homeless, who was a pool hustler.
Whoa.
And when I met him, he tried to hustle me in a game of pool. I was terrible at pool. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I could tell he was full of shit, but he was funny.
Right.
And I saw him there a bunch of times. We became friends. But he was like the first guy that I ever met that would tell you what he liked about the stuff that you did. Like he would come with me to comedy shows. And he'd be like, dude, that thing that you're doing. And he would like go into this like explanation. I loved it.
Right.
And he would like give you, like, I know your generation likes to call it give you flowers.
Yeah.
He would give you love. He would give you love that like, I was like, oh, nobody does this.
Yeah.
Everybody like kind of like never compliments their friends.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, this doesn't hurt you to do that. I'm like, it doesn't change anything.
But that's what I'm saying is that's how different that thought is of what you're doing. Is back in the day, you were a legitimate hustler if you made people feel good about themselves. You're
Right.
a con artist. And
No,
now
but
it's like, no, it's just what we should do.
Yeah, he was a con artist, but not like in the sense that he like it was almost like a half of a joke because he was a world-class professional pool player. Like he was just crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had all sorts of he was always trying to convince me to drive him to Harlem so that he could score. It was wild. It was a wild friendship because I was a young boy at the time, and I was pretty fucking straight-laced. Because most of my time, like all through high school and into the time I was like 21, I was doing martial arts tournaments. So I didn't drink hardly ever.
Right.
Mostly didn't do anything. I was pretty like on the grind.
Yeah.
And I met this dude who smoked crack.
Yeah.
He did all kinds of drugs. And he was gambling. He'd stay up and sleep. I would meet him in 24-hour pool halls. Like I would have like an audition in Manhattan in the morning. And I'd go, hey man, I got an audition in the morning. Are you going to be at Chelsea? And I'd meet him at Chelsea Billiards where he was sleeping. Chelsea Billiards was a 24-hour pool hall. And dudes would sleep under the tables. They would just go to sleep. They didn't have a place to live. They just stayed at Chelsea. They gave themselves like whore washes in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, with like fucking paper towels.
Whore wash.
And but that was the first dude that I ever met that like he would talk about like even people he didn't like. He would have like this guy's a fucking asshole. He goes, but watch how he does this.
It's fired.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like he would tell me what they did wrong, and he would like explain it's all fucking ego. It's all their old bullshit. Like they get scared when they think they might win. Ooh. Like he had this like mindset of understanding psychology, but he could look at a guy that he fucking genuinely hated and tell you, dude, he does that really well.
That's a beautiful thing, dude.
He was an honest guy. You know, he was a wild, crazy dude, but he was an honest guy. And he was honest about it all the time. So it's like I just sort of adopted that.
Yeah.
So at the time, I guess I was like 23 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, young.
When I met this dude. Yeah, maybe 24. Somewhere in that range. And we started hanging out together, and I was like, what a fucking interesting... Like, the guy could play piano. He could do math in his head. Like, you could have a calculator, and you go 500 divided by 6 minus 7 plus 11. And go 265, whatever. So obviously, that's not what the real number is. I can't do that. But he would literally be able to do it like that. And we would do it with calculators.
Yeah.
It was like a trick that we would do at the pool hall, where people would like let him, they would gamble with it. He would tell people he could do that. He would gamble with it.
Wow. Wow.
And they would like do calculations, and he could keep up with the fucking calculator. He could play piano. Again with the mic, bro!
I'm not it.
Yeah,
He took a whore bath. It accidentally.
You ever play pool with a guy named Nick Schulman?
Nick Schulman.
I went to school with a kid, and when we were in like,
Is he a professional?
well, he became a hustler. This is when Amsterdam was like way uptown.
Yeah, I played there.
And there was another one on the east side called York or something. I don't know. There was
What's
another one
one
on like
Chelsea was the big one.
I remember,
86th
I remember
Street. No,
Chelsea.
right here.
Remember that?
There was
Square.
Chelsea.
It was a great place.
Then there's
2 floors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was the one on 86 between like second and third or something? Anyway, this kid in high school, he would just like, stopped going to high school. I went to middle school with him. He stopped going to high school and just became a hustler.
Bro.
I don't know how these guys make money. That's the thing.
You don't make much. But the thing is, the camaraderie at the pool hall is so fun. When I was a young man and I first started hanging out in pool halls, because I really didn't actually play pool until I was 21. And I just had this girl that I dated, and she was older than me, and she was really competitive. And she wanted to play pool because she thought she was good at pool. She'd always try to beat me at pool.
I got you.
And I decided that I wanted to get good at pool because I didn't want to get beat by this girl.
Yeah.
So I practiced a little bit, and I still sucked. But I had this weird bug where I was trying to get good at it. And then when I moved to New York, I fucked my knee up. I tore my ACL.
Fighting?
How?
No, just training. I was just hitting the bag at the time. Something twisted weird. It was weird, real strange. It might have been hurt already, but Anyway, it blew out, and I couldn't do anything physical. Like it's like anything like with my legs for like. It was like 6 months at least. It was crazy. I had to have a knee brace and shit. And so I started playing pool with my friend John, and we were hanging around these pool halls, and I was like, oh, this is like a weird thing that these people are doing. Like they're all figuring out how to control their emotions. Like this isn't as simple as a game. This is like all these people get together and they all puzzle on how to control their emotions under extreme pressure. And they're all trying to gamble more and more money to make the stakes higher and higher. But it's all about who can control their emotions and who can keep that arm straight under extreme pressure.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a break for a second because some of y'all need to get a new bong to smoke out of. Smoking out of these whack-ass bongs. That's why your throat hurting like crazy because you don't got the glycerin chambers. Keep them nice and frozen so the smoke comes out icy, goes down smooth, comes out smooth, okay? Not hacking, coughing away like you usually do with your whack-ass bong. You need a freeze pipe, simple as that. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. The biggest clouds, the coldest smoke, the smoothest experience, that's freeze pipe. Okay, if you enjoy smoking cannabis or CBD, but you hate that throat and lung burning, then you gotta check out today's sponsor, Freeze Pipe. This thing right here, simple as that. The secret is freezable glycerin chambers. This thing, frozen, okay? Pipes, bubblers, bongs, all got it. Every single piece. Pop one of these chambers into the freezer for 1 hour, and as smoke passes through the icy chamber, it's instantly cooled for a dramatically smooth and chilly toe. You'll notice larger clouds, but surprisingly won't feel any throat burn or coughing attacks. I'm telling you, this is the only way to do it. That's why we fuck with shit, man. Not on the pod today. So, for the smoothest glass piece at every great price, go to freezepipe.com. Go to thefreezepipe.com and use the code Flagrant for 15% off your order. That's thefreezepipe.com and use the code Flagrant. You get 15% off your order. Shop today. Your throat and lungs will thank you. Let's get back to the show.
Yo, guys, also, the Big Daisy Energy Tour, the one we never got to finish because the pandemic, is back. I said, we're going on a tour. We're hitting a lot of big cities. We're selling the fuck out. What do? This is what we do. We sell this shit out the way we're going to do if the pandemic didn't stop us. So go to AkaashSingh.com for tickets. We are going to be everywhere. We sold out Austin. We're heading to Zanies this weekend in Chicago and Rosemont. Dallas and Fort Worth, Hyenas at the end of June. Cobb's Comedy Club in San Fran. We're doing Vancouver, Orlando. We're doing the Palisades. Guys, we are going everywhere. Go to AkaashSingh.com for all those dates and plenty more. This shit's going to be crazy. Let's get back to the show.
Is Elon compromised?
What does that even mean?
Well, I don't want to say compromise. Like,
oh, no, wait, he might be compromised by the aliens.
Yeah,
because he was a little easy to dismiss aliens. He goes, if they're real, they're very subtle.
Yeah, he didn't want to go into it at all.
Well,
I didn't like his pyramid stuff either.
One of the reasons why maybe, just like from a pragmatic perspective, guy does one podcast with me. I get him to smoke weed. His stock drops. You know, NASA's mad at him.
Same thing.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
And then he bounces back, and everything's fine. So next time he's on the podcast, probably better to dismiss aliens. It's like, nonsense, Elon. Nonsense, Elon. I don't know. I don't think he has time to think about aliens. Dude runs 5 fucking companies.
Yeah.
For him, it'd probably be really convenient if aliens just stay the fuck out of his way.
Yeah.
He's got shit to do down here. Like, if they land, it's going to ruin everything. Like, if the aliens land, you know what kind of chaos it would be? You think it's bad right now with the Republicans versus the Democrats? Like, what happens when the aliens land?
You think it's bad, or you think we all link up?
That's the only time we'll
That's
link
what
up,
we
though,
need. Yeah, that's
do
every
what?
movie.
Have you not
Eating
seen
together, holding hands?
Yeah.
Like,
There's a
what are we
whole
going to
movie
do?
about
They
this.
We're not
come
gonna
here
go
from
out and
other
have fun.
galaxies, bro.
Joe, there's a
But
whole
are they bringing their
documentary
good
about
shit?
this. Yeah, the whole
Are they
thing.
bringing their good shit?
I don't know. Like, are they bringing their good fighting stuff, or are they just exploring? Like, when we send astronauts out to space, we don't send them with any of our good shit.
Do you know what an eater robot
They
is?
don't got guns or nothing?
What is that?
An eater robot is a robot that runs on biological material.
Oh, don't make that.
That
Those
means
are the ones you
no,
fuck.
they've already made it. It's a robot that's
what?
powered by biological material. So I'm just saying worst case scenario.
Okay.
This is a robot that eats bodies on a battlefield.
Oh God.
To stay alive, and that's how it powers itself.
That's
Now,
what you
could
think-
say. You could say no. We don't mean biological material in that way. We mean plant matter, and dead rodents and what have you. But there's a real fucking robot that they designed that eats biological material.
I mean, who has it? The U.S. has it?
As fuel. It's called the EATR. Google it. EATR robot.
All right, now we got. Yeah.
When do you
What?
do you think aliens?
Google this thing, man. There's a fucking robot that it could eat bodies.
And it turns it into fuel.
Do you think
Yes.
aliens kill us? I mean, robots kill us?
Oh yeah, Akaash is a big robot cuck.
I don't think they
This is
would
the-
want to.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, why would they want to?
Why would they not want to?
This is a cigar.
Oh, nice. Well, it's not why would they not want to, because they would not act illogically. We would have to give them a reason to kill us if they wanted to kill us. Robots are not just going to kill us for no reason.
Right.
If we're not a threat anymore, what do they give a fuck?
But don't we really make everything, real talk, everything worse for every other species?
Oh, don't even say worse. Just say less efficient. Like it might be easier if we're out of here, right?
Yeah, or just like if you're looking at the world and you're like, hey, what's the biggest problem that's hurting the world? It's humans. It's not
This
fucking
is so hilarious.
rhinoceri.
We're so cynical. We're like, it's impossible for us to change. So let's just assume that we'll never stop shitting all over the world, and the robots are going to want to kill us.
I do assume that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. Do you think it's unfair to tell... Okay, I don't know how to word this.
You know how we had our industrial revolution, right?
My man.
Right? That was like, hold on.
What just happened?
We had the
I
worst
wanna give my
handshake ever. Hold on.
But no. You know how we had our like time to fuck the environment up. Now other
he thought-
countries
he thought you
get
meant-
their time
Get
to
their
fuck the
time.
environment.
Oh, that's
well, why
logical.
can we tell them not to?
Well, we have no moral high ground.
That's what I'm saying. Like we had our time in the sun. Now they have theirs. It's okay. Let them use it.
I mean, I'm not aware of what the environmental regulations are all around the world, obviously. I've not studied that. But I do know that it's a problem almost everywhere, where people burn coal and where people, like coal burning is crazy. You ever see those documentaries on people that live, and there's a certain area of Indiana where there's a bunch
October
of coal
Sky.
plants near
What's
them?
it called?
October Sky.
That's
Dude,
what it was
it's-
about?
Yeah.
It's nasty. Like you go by people's cars, you could just like swipe your hand on a windshield and you have this coal dust. Like it's in the air. People are breathing it.
Right.
All kinds of people are having all kinds of respiratory diseases as I suck on this cigar. It's fucking. They're poisoning people. These people are poisoning
Yeah,
people.
for sure.
And they're doing it in the name of making power. Like a coal-fired power plant that does that, you should start it. You go, I have an experiment. Let's see what happens when we burn coal and make electricity. Okay, let's try it. Oh, it's super efficient. Seems to work really well, but it really fucks up the sky. Yeah, let's not do that. It should be like, let's not fuck up the sky.
Yeah.
But back then, they're like, let's fuck up the sky just in this spot.
Yeah.
Like, that's what fracking is. We'll fuck up the water right here. Come
It
on.
won't touch the other water.
A couple of little fish. Trying to get gas and electric to these people. The indigenous communities need electricity. Just fracking on
That's what they do, though.
Indian land and letting them make bigger casinos. It's the craziest shit. No fucking predecessors of ours would have never guessed that we'd be hanging on this long
Really?
like this, with the way we are like this. Yeah,
Wait, how much longer do you think we got?
not much time.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I think unfortunately the way things have unraveled over the last couple
telling
of
you,
years,
I've been telling
I have
you.
zero faith that we're gonna keep this thing glued together for another 10 years or 20 years.
Stop.
Robots, some cataclysmic event.
There's so
I
much
think every
vitriolic.
generation thinks that because
Yeah.
you're living through it. You're like, oh, this shit can't get worse than it is right now.
My parents never thought the world was going to end in 10 years. I'll tell you that right now.
Tell that to the residents of Namasaki.
Where's Namasaki? Nagasaki?
Nagasaki. That would have been way better if I got the name right. That's high.
Bro, I
was
thought
thinking
that
of
was some
Mario.
new shit.
Mario Yamasaki.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Sorry.
thinking of
I got my
Park.
words stumbled. I should have said Hiroshima, but I was trying to be crafty. I choked. Damn it. Under pressure. Live podcast. Fuck. I just want to apologize to anybody I might have insulted during this podcast. I barely been myself.
Yo,
In a
Namasaki.
fog of chemicals since the moment we got here. Andrew Schulz insisted that we get intoxicated.
This is not true.
That is true.
This is a Joe Rogan idea.
You pressured
This is a
everybody
Joe
here, bro.
Rogan
You
idea.
pressured
madness.
I do like madness. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I
enjoy
tried
it.
to start it tame with some steak talk.
You know what I like? I like madness with food portion talk. I like madness with nice people. You know,
Why did I think that was the best way to begin the podcast? It just came to me in the moment. I didn't think about that much.
every podcast is like a small little colt that walks on baby legs, and then it's got to develop a little trot, and then it gets going. Right now we're going. Right now we're going.
We're in Homo sapiens.
We're a fucking
territory.
horse right now. We're a full horse.
Fuck, dude.
We're running.
Oh, dude. Hey, can we talk about one crazy conspiracy?
I gotta pee so bad.
All right, go pee. Go pee. We got this.
Okay.
Do you know where the pee room is?
I'm gonna piss right over there.
Yo, if you piss in the plant,
Please
Dude,
do.
actually, that would be hilarious. Dude, if you pee on the plants, it would be
You're the
absolutely
yo, piss in the plant,
Yo,
yo.
you're plastic plants.
No,
Those are real. So they
Those
need
are
your
plastic.
nutrients.
Please watch.
I think
Those are
they're
real,
plastic.
bro.
touch them. They're real.
No, piss in
You think Dove would get fake
it'll
plants?
kill Dove.
Your
It'll kill him.
plants, you're gonna plants are gonna go. If I piss in your plants, all the
Yes.
shit I'm on.
Yeah, water. Water.
Yes.
Do that shit, yo.
No, I'm quadruple. I don't know if you know about me, but I really don't respond to peer pressure. I'll be right
Hey,
back.
piss in the back.
I'm gonna urinate like a fucking gentleman.
Order pizza from all the places.
Oh my god, I'm a new man.
It's not gonna get here.
We're getting pizza from all the places.
Yeah,
No,
let's get some
we
pizza,
got,
bro.
yo, Dove, we're doing an hour 40 more.
Okay.
We're getting pizza. Dove, we're getting pizza roll and get some fucking pepperoni and shit. And mix it up.
If Joe Rogan wants pizza, we're getting pizza, bro.
Simple as that.
I did not ask for pizza, just like I did not ask for this to be a drunken, intoxicated
This is a lie.
extravaganza.
This
That's
is a
not
lie.
He did not
my
ask
idea.
for it. No,
I
he-
said I would play along with it.
He
This
did
is
not
your
ask for it.
suggestion.
They
He
wanted
demanded it. He suggested
true.
it.
That's true.
not asking.
That's true.
I need Yeonmi Park's number before you
stop it
leave,
with
dog.
We sent each other so many emojis of the weightlifting guy.
The weight.
We get it, dog. We get it. Fuck you explaining it to.
Alex looked lost.
Alex, hi, dog.
It was a squat emoji. He never done that.
That's why.
Listen,
Yo,
guys.
don't light your fucking nose on fire, dog. That was wild.
Don't worry about it, bro. I got a couple of forehead hairs I didn't like. Twinge them. That's what happens. You lose all your hair on the head and you get them in the ear area. I get them in my ear. You get any ear hairs yet?
I get one on this one right here.
It's a sure sign of misfiring. And your DNA is reverting back to your monkey self. It's growing fucking ear hair and shit. As you slowly fade away.
How long you think you got? How long you think you got, Joe? How many years?
Well, if Joe Biden gets reelected, I think I got about 4.
Wait, really? You think?
I don't know, man. I'm kidding.
Who do you think goes after Joe?
Doing a comedy podcast?
Yo,
fucking shit.
why you took that man serious?
What's going on?
Why you took that man serious?
You guys are so serious.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dog? He's like, I got 4 years to live. You see, if Joe Biden wins, you're like, really?
No, I was like, you think he's
turning
gonna
to
win?
fucking Oprah?
Listen, can I be thoughtful on this week? Can I be compassionate? Can I be empathetic?
No, you cannot. That's what makes it unbelievable.
Oh, okay, that's a good ass point. No, you make a good ass point.
Joe Biden, Alpha Brain, Black Label. Go get some. It's real. It's legit. It works.
Yeah.
I'm a living testament. I barely got out of high school. I have a phenomenal memory.
No, your recall is crazy,
I'm
bro.
gonna take this shit, Alpha Brain.
Don't just take that because I said to. But there's a
to
bunch of
take
other
that
stuff you
shit.
should try.
Joe, we've been promoting Alpha Brain on
Like
this
what?
I love
podcast.
it. Alpha Brain is great. No. There's other stuff that helps your brain.
Well,
There's stuff
Akaash wants to get chiseled.
Neurogum. Oh, you want to get big?
Yeah, he wants to get big. Not even big. He wants to
Yeah.
be like slim. Like his body is
Slim.
felt.
Like a
Yeah.
swimmer.
Joe, what's
Yeah.
everything you take? Everything.
Everything.
That was sexual
most
bakery.
of it. Most of it is like the big results come from testosterone replacement. So there's that, and then there's peptides that increase your body's ability to grow hormones like growth hormone and
What
IGF-1. And all.
peptides?
There's
Peptides is mad general,
there's there's BBC 157, and there's another
Now
thing.
what? Now what, dummy?
GC, I think it's
I'm
called
gonna Google it later.
ipamorelin.
You've Googled BBC.
I'm gonna fucking these names up, and then another one's called thymosin. And what these things do is they help your body produce the hormones that it should have when you're younger and your body works better. And if you do that and you regularly exercise, that's the biggest thing. If there's ever one thing that someone can do to stop aging, it's lift weights. And don't stop. And don't do it for vanity. Do it because you want to keep your tissue. Like, think of it as like age is like a little demon that's slowly robbing you of your tissue.
Christian.
Your ability to walk upstairs, your ability to open up jars, your ability to open the car door when it's frozen. All that shit is real. And the only way to stave that off is weightlifting. You have to lift heavy things, and you don't want to do anything too heavy where you hurt yourself, but you want to get your body accustomed to this idea that in order to survive, it has to lift things, and you need to give that body nutrients. And I don't care if you like lift your own body, your body's heavy. You can do chin-ups and push-ups and body squats. That's all great stuff. You don't need to lift heavy weights in terms of your own body is assuming at least 100 pounds. That's pretty fucking heavy. When I do kettlebells, I don't do anything heavier than 70 pounds for the most part. That's the heaviest shit I ever lift. So it's mostly just full body motion that makes your body know that this is a regular part of your life. So the normal deterioration that most people experience, you can stave that off for the most part. And there's a real potential in the future with genetic editing and all kinds of wacky shit that they're experiencing. They're experimenting on all sorts of stuff that could extend lifespans in a radical way.
CRISPR,
yeah.
There's CRISPR, but there's a couple of other things they're doing too. And who knows what the fuck they're doing in China.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you mean?
They could be doing anything because they're
no
not
restrictions.
impaired by the same sort of ethics.
They don't disclose.
Yeah, they don't have to tell anybody anything. And they can work like hand and fist with the government, and nobody has to know nothing about what's going on. You know, that's why they can develop all kinds of shit without like the normal restrictions. Their government and their businesses are like that. They're inexorably connected. The businesses don't get to make decisions that are bad for the government. If they do, they disappear, dudes.
Okay, here, let's go. Conspiracy theory.
Let's go.
How different? How different?
Okay. I see you, Miles.
A conspiracy more than a high guy.
Okay, here's the conspiracy. Are Joe Coy and Chelsea Handler really in a relationship?
No, you did not do that.
Shield this man.
Don't do this.
Why would you put that on Joe, bro?
I said, don't you? It was Alex Jones was hitting me nonstop. He's like, there's something awry here.
Seems like a false flank.
I want to remind you.
Middle-age crisis actor.
I want to remind you. You did not just say what I think you said. What the fuck did you say?
Midlife crisis actors.
No,
You corrected it because you said middle-aged crisis actors, and then you realized midlife crisis actors. Actually,
It's teamwork.
better.
It's teamwork,
It's
bro.
cleaner.
It's
a clear
teamwork.
bit. You nailed it.
Okay, but we love Joe on this podcast.
I know Chelsea. I love Chelsea. I wrote a thing about one of her books, or wrote a little blurb.
Oh, really?
Back in the day, yeah.
She was
I knew her from
phenomenal.
the Comedy Store. She was always cool.
No, back her show, she was great. She was great. Her interviewing was great. It was different. What happened?
Tone of this room just changed to bullshit.
No, I'll be honest with you.
Call that shit out.
No, I think she was fucking great.
I'm not saying she's not. I'm not saying she's not, but I'm just saying like there was like a general tone of like, let's say something nice right now.
Yep. That's
He
real
just called out
fact.
the moment, yo.
I love that.
Okay,
Yo, Joe,
fair.
I love
Feel-
that.
maybe- oh, you felt like I needed to justify.
Yeah, you
No,
had
no,
to-
you don't.
No,
You definitely
both
don't.
of y'all did
But
that
we're
shit.
just talking shit.
He's like, oh, I wrote a blurb for her. Y'all both did that shit. Yeah.
100%.
Because we felt bad. We felt like we were
Yeah.
trashing them.
Yeah, we're not trashing anybody.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like I don't like trashing fellow comedians. I really don't. I genuinely don't.
No.
Did that change after Mencia? You felt a little
Yes,
bad?
100%.
I
Really?
thought so.
You
Yeah.
felt bad about
During
it?
the moment of it, I realized how much negativity it creates. I was almost looking at like if it was a system, right? If you're looking at a system, you're looking at like you input X and you get back this. And I'm like, okay, a good thing was done where people weren't in danger of having their intellectual property taken by someone who's far more successful. But the weird thing was the anger. Like watching the anger, like, bah! It's like you're throwing meat to a group of fucking piranhas. Like there's just this buzzing of people joining on one side or the other side. And I realized like a lot of this is not logical. And it's one of the problems with the way human beings interact with each other, that we just choose teams. And it's like a normal, natural inclination that we can't escape, no matter how logical you are. Like even if you're like a super logical person, you're still, there's some part of you that has an inclination towards teams.
So how do you push
also-
yourself away from it?
Just gotta recognize what it is, like know when it pops up, and just go, this is a dumb road.
But is that tough for you? Like when you get shit on by one side specifically, and then the other side is like, yo, you're pretty cool. How hard is it for you to just stay even?
It's okay. Like I would shit on me, for sure.
Wait, really?
If I didn't know me, yeah.
For what exactly?
Some other comic, I would make fun of me totally.
What would you say?
Oh, I'd say terrible things about steroid use and insecurities of being short. I have a lot of great jokes about me.
Really?
It'd be a lot of fun.
So you don't even when people make fun of you, do you care?
Well, you can care, but it's not going to change the way they think. Like it's not good if you hear it. Like if someone said it to my face, I'd be like, "That's mean."
Yeah.
Like, why are you being mean to me, man? I don't even know you.
Yeah.
People will say mean things to you just to try to get a reaction out of you. But those people are usually way more dangerous than the average person that says something online. The average person says something online, it's like you're not even connected. Like maybe you are. It's like you're trapped in a cave and there's like a tunnel that goes up to the air and you're like, fuck you! Like, you're not connected to that person. You're not in front of them. If someone is mean to you in front of you, that's a real problem.
Yeah.
And weirdness is when it spills over. When people get used to communicating with people the way they do on the internet and they try to do it in real life. And you see it all the time in World Star videos. They just get fucked up because they think they can talk shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they talk shit on the internet. They think they can just get away with it.
Yeah.
Like they don't have the same amount. If you're 24 and you lived in 1976, or if you're 24 and you live now, you got a totally different type of interaction with people.
Yeah.
These fucking people are interacting with people in a text form 60% of the time.
Yeah.
So if that's a part of your development, and everybody agrees, I agree that people who grow up in sort of like touch and go environments, they're a little slicker.
Yeah.
Right? We call it street smarts.
Yeah.
People know, like, if you don't have any of that,
Forget it. It's over.
you're fucked.
Yeah.
And if all you're doing is texting, you're not experiencing life. You're trapped in your house.
You're trapped in
sitting
disconnect.
You're sitting on the couch getting a fucking neck cramp because you're fucking texting.
Yeah.
That's the people of today.
Yeah.
That's what's weird about it.
Yeah.
You're not designed for that.
Right.
So the human brain has to find a way to catch up.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second because it's the motherfucking NBA Finals, okay? You know you're putting money down, and why would you not want to win more money? You're not going to win more money than at MyBookie. I mean, it's very simple. I'll tell you why. You deposit $200, they're going to give you $300 to gamble with. That's crazy. You get to gamble with more money than you actually put down. That's how you win the most goddamn money. And when you got these NBA Finals, okay, it's time to put your money where your mouth is. We see you tweeting all over the place, right? We see you talking that shit on Instagram. Put it up. If you know who's going to win that bad, put it up and put it up in MyBookie. Matter of fact, use that promo code Flagrant. You're going to deposit $200, you're going to get $300. Think about that. They will secure that first deposit bonus up to $1,000. All you gotta do is use the promo code Flagrant to claim your bonus. Mobile or on the go, NBA, UFC, baseball, no matter the league, no matter the minute, MyBookie puts the action in your hands so you can turn any game day into a payday. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Now let's get back to the show.
So let me tie this back to what we talked about. Seeing all the hate, et cetera, what happened to Mencia, what would you do differently about Clark?
Nothing.
That's what I was thinking.
I wouldn't do a thing different. I took the hit. But it's like the hit wasn't bad because I was right, and eventually I knew they would realize I was right, and I would wish that he would realize I was right.
And well, the hate I also
Well,
felt.
people don't realize you took a hit. I think a lot of people's history of you is
Yes,
you
but
called
no.
out Mencia and then you had the biggest podcast on the planet.
That's true also.
Yeah,
They don't know what you went through afterwards.
It wasn't bad.
What
it
was
was
it?
not bad.
Well, I
Bad things
actually don't know.
happened.
For comic standards, I think it is.
Well,
What happened?
I got banned from the Comedy Store. That was a real problem.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Mitzi Shore's idea. The real problem was I was on the phone with Mitzi like more than an hour before they called me to tell me I was banned. So I was on the phone with Mitzi, and I told her, out of respect, what had happened. I said, Mitzi, I go, we are fucking tired of this guy stealing jokes. She's like, Carlos, are you sure he's stealing? I go, Mitzi, we have videos of it. He's a fucking thief. And so we had this conversation on the phone, and she goes, well, just keep away from him. So I told her that we're going to release this video. She goes, well, just keep away from him. I go, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And she goes, okay, you want to go up tonight? And I said, sure. What time do you want to put me up? She goes, 10:30. I go, thank you very much. I love you. That's the last time I talked to her.
Wow.
That's sad.
And then I got a call an hour later, and I realized, like, she was in a state where Mitzi Shore is, like, legitimately, if you looked at all of the people that are important in the development of comedy, she's the number one most important person that wasn't a comic.
Why?
Number one.
Wait, why? Why do you
Because
Mitzi Shore to people
she
who don't
let
know.
the Comedy Store.
Mitzi Shore owned the Comedy Store.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
for
sorry.
people-
I'm sorry. Mitzi Shore is Pauly Shore's mom. She's like, she started the Comedy Store with her husband. They got divorced. She got the Comedy Store, and she ran the Comedy Store in a way where, like, she was a strong lady, and she had fucking strong ideas about what was good and what was bad, and she would tell you right to your face. She would tell you, I fucking hate that bit.
Does she
And
ever
like,
say
"Oh,
that to you?"
shit, yes.
What'd she say?
I had this bit about Ann Nicole Smith and her husband. She fucking hated that bit because J. Howard Marshall, that dude who was like 150 years old.
Yeah, Biden.
I had this bit.
Genius.
He was older than Biden. He was Biden's dad. but she was responsible for the environment of the Comedy Store, where she just let the comedians express themselves the best way that they could and give them a home and set these standards. Like,
And
no
for those who
bullshit
don't know,
standards.
the Comedy Store prior,
Kinnison, Bill Hicks.
so many legends.
David Letterman.
worked out there.
Yeah, Eddie Griffin, Damon Wayans was there a lot. Martin Lawrence was there a lot. It was like Dice Clay. Like, so many people came out of that place, and it was chaos, and it didn't always work out perfectly, but she designed it in a way where she could create a place where these really fucked up people could come and perform. And she would call it her island of misfit toys. She knew what she was doing, man. And, she's a completely unusual person.
Why?
Very few people just dedicate themselves to a thing like that and, like, have this idea of, like, what's the right way to do it, and they're right. She was right. She was right so often.
Yeah.
Like, someone would call and complain about Kinnison, and she would, I don't
Go
give
fuck
a
yourself.
fuck.
Yeah.
She didn't give a fuck. She didn't give a fuck.
So then how
the
is
place
she-
is packed every night. She did not give a fuck.
But how is she okay with Mencia then? Because this is why
She didn't know, and I also think she was having some legitimate health problems by then, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
When I first met her, she was already in '94. She was already struggling a little, and then as time went on, it got worse. And I don't think if people don't come to her and complain, I don't think she necessarily knows, unless she's watching every single set, who came up with this bit first.
Right.
She doesn't know,
Yeah.
right? So if you just come down for one 20-minute set and you see someone kill and you go, oh my God, he's hilarious. If you had come 20 minutes before, you might have saw Paul Mooney do his version of it, right? And if that was the case, maybe then she would be able to go, hey, what the fuck? But like I said, even in the 90s, she was already struggling. She had I think it was a neurological disorder. And, it was hard for her. So I don't blame her, but she had ideas that didn't necessarily work, but you fucking never know what's going to work. How many people did we started out with that were like open micers that you
I think about that. I think about that.
You knew they were funny. And they just they fell apart on re-entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that. Like the first friend I knew that there was a comic that stopped. And they were funny too. But they just didn't want to go through it.
Yeah, there's a girl that I dated when I was 21. There's a girl I dated when we were both open micers together. She was funnier than me. Like, she was so funny. She was hilarious. She was fucking hilarious. And I remember thinking, if I don't make it as a comedian, at least I fucked her. This lady's the next Roseanne. Like, she's so good. Wow. She was a killer.
And then what happened?
I don't know.
Stopped it.
I don't know. I lost track.
I mean, especially
I lost touch with her.
back
We stayed
then,
friends, but
I want to know her name.
yeah, I moved to New York, and I don't want to say it. And when I moved to New York, I don't know.
It just stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, back then you had so few opportunities, and if you didn't get one, I imagine it would just wear you down because you're just toiling at that point.
Yeah.
Like this internet shit is so different.
It's so different. Well, I've been through both things,
Yeah.
and what it really makes me understand, like, more than anything, is like how important it is to like share success and like get everybody out of that horrible period in the beginning where you don't know if you're going to make it, because the more people that you can get that are convinced that they could be professionals, the more you're going to get those dudes that we remember from the open mic days that didn't make it. I think about that girl all the time. I think about her. She was fucking funny, man. She was funny. She had a witty way of looking at things. And I'm like, she was 21. We were both 21. I'm like, what would have happened to her when she was 29? What about when she's 33? She might be a murderer right now. She might be straight up slaying on Netflix. Selling out arenas, just walking out there. People, She was that good. But for whatever reason, there's no, back then it was dog eat dog, and everybody thought they were going to be the host of the Tonight Show.
Well, there was 2 shows.
Yeah.
And then maybe you get a half hour.
And then there was the sitcom game.
Yeah.
The sitcom game when Tim Allen got his show and Roseanne got her show and Seinfeld and Brett Butler. Then the whole game became get a deal to do a sitcom.
Yeah.
And craft an act
about the sitcom
that seems like a pilot.
Yeah.
Like you would do an act that was like a pilot for a sitcom, and we all got intoxicated by the sitcom world.
Yeah, I don't know if he did it on. I mean, I loved his show, but Ray Romano's. It seemed like looking back, it's like, oh, his whole comedy was.
Ray Romano was my character on News Radio, and he got fired.
No.
Wait, really?
Yes. Ray Romano was the original handyman on News Radio, and he got fired.
Why?
And Ray was a good friend of mine. I love, until this day, he's a good friend of mine. I love him.
He's great.
He's brilliant. And I opened for Ray at a bowling alley.
Yeah.
I think it's Jimmy's Comedy Alley. I think that's what it was called, in Queens.
Yeah.
Like way back in the day. And I remember sitting in the audience with my friend watching Ray Romano just straight murder, going, God damn, he's good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And then a year later, we are in this situation where I have a development deal with NBC to do my own show, but then there's this other show that they've already shot a pilot for, but they're gonna fire this dude, and they want me to go and read for it.
He just didn't test well?
I had no idea. I had no idea what
And he
happened.
never found out
But
either?
here's the good thing: they fired him and then hired another guy to do the pilot. So I was once removed. So I felt like I'm okay. It's already gone. I'm stealing it from this other dude who stole it from you, Ray.
He did okay, by the way.
Oh my God. Well, then, like Kevin James and I were good friends, and he was good friends with Ray too. So we would all eat together, and like this was right when Ray was creating Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
And he was like sitting there with like scripts and shit and talking to us. That motherfucker was obsessed.
Good.
Like that show became amazing because that dude was dedicated. Wow. We're at Jerry's Famous Deli eating Reubens. And Ray's just going over the script. We're running jokes and shit. I'm like, damn, this dude is fired up, bro.
Yeah, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
The best stand-up comedic actor I've ever seen. Like,
Ray
as a
Romano?
comedic actor and stand-up primarily, he was a fucking great comedic actor.
And you know what's just as important? Really good dude.
Yeah.
What you expect is what you get.
Yeah.
Real solid, real cool dude.
I was at I was at the Cellar once, and
He's just like the calmest, chillest guy, right? Like not high energy, nothing crazy. And we're sitting at the back table and we're talking about something. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm from New York, but I went to school out in California. And I go, yeah, I went to UC Santa Barbara. And he goes, oh, yeah. Wild school. And I was like, yeah, it was a lot of parties. He goes, oh, no. My son went there during the school shooting. And his son was at the school. Do you remember when there was like a school shooting at UCSB?
No.
His son was at the school during that.
Wow.
There's so many school shootings now.
Yeah.
That
I don't remember that.
I can't remember. I
Isn't
feel
that wild?
so embarrassed.
Why is that specific here? Have you thought about
No
that?
alpha brain here, huh?
In America, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think the problem is that it is a great way to get a lot of attention and to do the most horrific thing to a society that you feel like has abandoned you. If you hate the world, one of the worst things you could do is kill kids.
Yeah.
So that's the scariest thing for all of us.
Yeah.
And when you have children, you'll have this feeling. It's like the world becomes a completely different place. And which is one of the things, like, I was thinking, one of the things that happened to me when I became a parent, and also just as I became older and I watched children grow and become older and wiser and figure things out, I realized we're all just babies that grew up. And I used to meet a person, I think, oh, this guy's an idiot. But now I look at someone, I literally, like, I look at you and I think of you as a baby. And I think of you going through your life and getting to who you are now. And it just instantaneously develops more empathy for people. Instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's like it's a paradigm shift, like the most profound psychedelic experience you could ever have.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize that this whole thing that we do with like teams or othering people or this, not you, all of that stuff is just fear. It's a giant percentage of what we're doing when we're interacting with people poorly is just fear.
Yeah.
We're fearful that they're going to be cruel to us, so we want to be cruel first.
Yeah.
And there's like chest bumping. Most people just want to be loved.
I
Most
remember
people.
talking to my cousin who's a psychiatrist, and then I just started therapy, like whatever. And I was like, oh, are we basically all just, our personality is just adding up all our defense mechanisms? And he was like, yeah, that's basically, you're just a bunch of defense mechanisms into a human being.
Yeah, there's a lot of that because you're accustomed to, in terms of your DNA is accustomed to fighting off predators, fucking bears and big cats. That's our past. All human beings. We didn't get here instantaneously.
Yeah.
We got here through a long, bloody, horrific process where a lot of babies got eaten by wolves. That's why the Little Red Riding Hood, all that shit was about wolves. That's why it was about wolves, because wolves used to eat people. Do you know they stopped World War I because of wolves?
No.
Do you know there's a ceasefire? There was a ceasefire between the Russians and the Germans because so many of them were getting killed by wolves.
That's nuts.
They decided to get together and kill the wolves and then go back to killing each other.
No.
Yes.
I saw that picture of them playing soccer on Christmas.
The Christmas
did that
truce.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Because they were trapped. They were trapped in a crazy world. And the world's still crazy. It's just crazy with more information.
Is it possible to indoctrinate people with like love for country more now, you think? Like
Neuralink.
that's the
only way.
Well, that's the scary thing,
It's
right?
the only way.
No, that's the scary thing about the Neuralink, right? If you can control something that's going on in someone's brain,
Yeah.
I don't need the news. I don't need influencers on Joe Rogan's podcast.
If you can control it. But if it's something that can't be controlled,
Well, how do they prove that?
I don't know.
Would you let them do it to you?
Well, they're controlling things already. If you look at the world like a system, and you looked at the amount of resources and money that's pumped into controlling specific narratives, they're already controlling things.
But they're doing it because we choose to opt into our phone.
Yeah, but you're not. It's not negotiable.
Like what?
You're not going to stop using your phone.
No, I'm going to keep using my phone, but at least I can be like, oh, you're showing this because if I see an ad for fucking toaster ovens, maybe we spoke about toaster ovens yesterday and now I see the ad. But if you don't even have to convince me, at least there's one layer. But if you're already in here and you make me think I want to vote that way, you don't think that that's a little bit...
But how are you doing that? How are you making someone think that they're going to vote a certain way?
If you can make my dad have memory again, if you can make, and anybody do anything, you can make them think anything you want.
I think there's a real problem with narratives, right? There's a real problem with pushing narratives and not letting people really decide what's going on objectively. But I don't know if any one person is ever going to have control of that. I think there's like this wave thing that happens back and forth. It's like Twitter comes and everything goes left, and who knows if people abandon that and go right.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's just like this weird, wild sort of wrestling match of human beings trying to figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
with life.
society is just a bunch of overcorrections each way, it seems like.
There's a lot of that, yeah. There's a lot of that, yeah. And a lot of that is done, unfortunately, because of a lack of honesty. If more people were honest, and we put like a lot of value in honesty and a lot of honor in it, that I think you could have like better conversations. Of course. And then we would find out why people are behaving the way they're behaving. But right now, there's like a lot of like, I want my team to win, so I'll bullshit about stuff.
Yes.
The problem with that is like my friend Johnny, who used to compliment people that he didn't even like. Like, you got to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You got to be like, that guy's a fucking dick. But you know what he does?
Yeah.
This is what he does. Like, he's an asshole, but his father is, they make the best fucking pizza. I hate the dude, but I would go to his place. He would tell you shit like that. It was fun.
That's what I love about stand-up.
Yeah.
Is that like even the guys that were assholes couldn't be denied as funny.
Oh, no. Yeah,
like,
no denial.
There was a guy, do you ever know Todd Lynn? I think he's passed.
You know he's passed.
He is passed, right? Yeah. So Todd Lynn, like, was a fucking hilarious. I didn't know for certain, but I know he had a baby arm. He had a baby arm.
Been dead, yo.
But
you
I think,
probably performed at one of his fundraisers.
Have I?
I performed at his fundraiser.
Shouts to Todd Lynn and his family.
I performed at his fundraiser. Mark Theobald is hosting. Mark's so funny.
Shouts to Mark.
And this is one of his good friends. And Mark is passing around the bucket. This is how big of a dick Todd Lynn was. Mark is passing around the bucket for people to donate money. He's like, if you knew Todd, he wasn't necessarily the nicest guy. As he's asking for money.
But this motherfucker was so goddamn funny.
Really?
Bro.
Oh, he's a monster, dude.
Bro.
Shit on me for bombing in front of him and then just crushed for
And he had
40
a
minutes.
baby arm.
Wow. Yeah.
He had
Bang.
like a baby arm, like, no, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
And he was still talking that shit. He was so funny, but everybody's doing an asshole. And there's a lot of people like this. Like Patrice is the greatest I've ever seen, my favorite. But a lot of people would be like, yo, Patrice was kind of an asshole. But you couldn't deny him.
Patrice wasn't an asshole to everybody.
That's facts.
He was always nice to me.
Yeah, because he thought you were a real one, bro.
He's nice. Patrice was nice. He was just, you had to be able to
Don't
take
bullshit
a
him.
joke. You had to be able to take a joke. You had to be able to take it right on the chin and laugh right back.
Wow, what did he say, Joe?
Oh, he was always funny. Always. He was just always funny about everything. Patrice had a way of looking at things where we would all talk and they would wait for Patrice's point. He's one of those guys. If you talked to Patrice and hung out with him, I hung out with him in Vegas once. We were all at the backstage at one of those Opie and Anthony shows. He was just such a... I remember hanging out with him going, man, I wish I lived closer to him.
Yep. Yep.
He was that guy, you know?
Yep.
But luckily I had Joey Diaz. Joey's
was your
the
guy.
West Coast Patrice.
Yeah.
He was very much like that. Joey Diaz was very much like that. Like we would all line up the back of the room when Joey Diaz was lighted on fire.
Yeah.
And all the people I've ever seen kill, I've never seen anybody hit Joey Diaz RPMs. He would have these bits that they were so funny that you couldn't. He could say things you weren't allowed to say.
Yeah.
Because he was like a human cartoon. You weren't even sure if he was real.
Yeah. Like, is this guy white? Is he Spanish?
His timing was fucking perfect. And he would nail punchlines and turn beat red. And people would be falling out of their seats.
Yeah.
There's multiple times I've been in that original room where I go, God, I wish we were filming this.
Yeah.
I wish we were filming this because I don't think anybody's gonna understand if they're not here right now.
You know, Fahim just put out his special.
Yes.
Yeah. And shouts to Fahim. Go check out Hat Trick. But that's that idea for the special. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Joey do that too. And because Joey, for me, I was like, you have to understand him within the space of the store.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, there's something magical about it. And I didn't understand it until I went out there and I saw him for the first time. You had been telling me a lot about him, and I remember just sitting and watching, and it was. Yeah, it was special, man.
I'm working with Joey in Atlantic City this weekend for the first time in years.
God
I haven't been on stage with him in like 2 years.
God bless.
I gotta watch him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told him, like, whatever you want to do. What do I have to do to fucking get you back in there? I'm like, dude.
Is this his first time back on stage?
No, he's been on stage a bunch of times.
Okay, good.
He did a bunch of shows with Brian Callen, and he's tuned up. He's ready to rock. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I can't believe we got him back.
Nah. Yeah, Joey's a fucking beast.
He was like, you have like specific roles in like these communities, you know? In the Comedy Store community, Joey Diaz was just pure chaos. You would drop him in, and like during like the drug Joey days, like during the early days when he was like a straight up criminal, he reminded me so much of my friend Johnny. So much.
Johnny, who's
Pool hustler.
The pool hustler.
the pool hustler. Yeah.
Joey was like just like him.
Yeah.
Like a wild dude from the streets, but like a good dude.
Yeah.
Like I knew he was a good solid dude. And we were friends like instantly. And he would come to the news radio set, and he was a gorilla back then. I mean, he was like way thinner and like built like, don't you do it.
Yeah.
He was wearing a leather jacket, built like a football player. And all those NBC studio executives would get mad because he was eating all of their
Snacks. Okay.
Let the man tell
like,
a story.
is
Jesus
Christ, you fucking child, you children. I would laugh too. I would laugh too.
So wait a minute, he would just show up to set just to sit.
I would come with him. I would bring him with me.
He wasn't on the show. He was just hanging
he's
out.
my boy.
Getting on track, Andrew. That was good.
This is like 1996.
Yeah.
You know, we were both like, I was probably like 28, and Joey was like a little older than me. And Joey had just got to LA straight from prison.
Wait, did he?
He's always in and out of jail. I think he was like running from something in Seattle. He had to come back to LA. Like there's a warrant out for him for the longest time. He couldn't get a passport to go places because all the he kidnapped a drug dealer with a machine gun.
Fire.
Wow.
Yeah. No, Joey Diaz did real time. Joey Diaz is, but he's a uniquely beautiful soul. And even though I knew all that shit that he did real time and everything, I know what you are. I know what you are. You're a great guy who just had a crazy life.
You collect these guys.
These guys are valuable. They're everything. They're life, man. Those are Sam Kinnisons. Those are the Richard Pryors.
But why do you think?
Because they don't fit in, and that's how you see what it is for real. Like if you're not a part of it, you see what it is for real.
Because you don't have to operate
You're not
based on the
operating
part
in
of
that
it.
system.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz found his mother dead on the floor when he was on acid.
No, that's what it is.
When he was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, when you're a part of a community,
when
you
he
gotta-
tells that story,
Yeah.
your goosebumps just stand up. You're like, what?
Yeah.
So it's like those type of people from that angst and that unusual view of the world
Have to find themselves.
Yes.
And sometimes themselves is a little outside of the norm. It's outside of the group.
They find it through the most potent form of entertainment.
Yeah.
All of our great rock stars, all of our great comics, all of our great hip hop artists, all of them come from crazy backgrounds. Not all of them, obviously. That's a big generalization. But I'm trying to make my point.
No, I understand what you're saying. I think that
You don't get it, Joey Diaz in a suburb.
Yeah.
They don't-
But
they don't
more,
turn out
it's
like
like
that.
there's a freedom to being outside if you're willing to harness
Yes.
it. And the freedom is you get to actually find who you are.
Well, the reality is there's no real outside. Like people feel like they're outside, but so many people feel like they're outside. There's a lot of people. And when you go to a comedy club, all the other people also feel like they don't get it. They laugh at your point. They go, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if it's what you're saying is wrong, but it's funny. It's like that's where it's like we're fucking with the wiring. One of my favorite bits that you do is that bit that you do about countries where they treat their women terribly.
Got the best food, boy.
They have the best food. You ever eat Canadian food? That bit is so good. Because like if you were a terrible person, you wanted to misrepresent who you are, you would write that, this is just saying that women belong in the kitchen. That's not what they're saying.
No.
That's not what you're saying. You're saying something funny. It's a funny thing to say.
I did this talk, like Noam from the Comedy Cellar. Do you know Noam?
Yeah.
You would love Noam. Like you
I know
guys.
Noam.
Okay, good.
I worked at his club way back.
I know, but he's an interesting guy.
No,
like,
Andrew should connect you with Noam. I don't think he knows him.
I can get you an audition at the Comedy Cellar. Like
That could be good for you, dude.
Yeah, I
That
got
could be
you.
good.
Yeah. No, but
Moving on up. Shout out to all these comedy club owners,
But
man. Without them,
he had an interesting conversation. He had this like talk where there were these like intellectual dudes. This guy named Glenn Lowry. Do you know?
Yeah,
Glenn
sure.
Yeah. So him and a few other dudes, and they had some comics on stage, and we were just talking about random things and comedy and political correctness and culture, etc. And there was just like a moment on stage where I was talking like, we should never be together. Like, we don't have to have these conversations because you guys say what's right and we say what's funny. And I think what happens is the people that say what's right expect the people that say what's funny to be right. And that's where our jokes become more than jokes and where we get in trouble. If we're just out here just making jokes and talking shit and just being funny with no stakes, and then people look at us and they're like, oh no, these are the next intellectuals. They are going to tell us how to think. That's when we can't make the craziest jokes.
Well, one of the arguments is that, like, if you say crazy things in the name of being funny, then other people that are not as smart as you will say those things and they'll be hurtful. They'll feel like they have license to say those things.
Maybe.
I had a drag queen tell me that after a show.
Maybe.
It was very intimidating. Mm-hmm. She was wearing Kiss boots. But it's one of those things, it's like, I don't know if you're responsible for the dumbest people in your audience.
You're not.
I don't know how that works.
You're not.
And I feel like at a certain point in time, we have to agree that most people love comedy. If you don't love comedy, you have to opt out of this conversation. So if you love comedy, you must agree that a lot of what people say, they don't mean. They just think it's a funny thing to say. Like, this is an art form. Just like Quentin Tarantino is not really killing women when he's making Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
This is what we used to say about
There's no
violent
dead
movies.
women involved in the production of that movie.
Yeah, the violent movies, violent rap, Eminem getting all
those things.
Let's just move toward comedy. It'll move on
But
eventually.
it's also like, the problem is it seems like you're just talking. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's not like something you've created, that you've manipulated language in order to get a surprise result that makes people go, bah!
Yeah.
And it seems like your statements, because they sound just like everybody else when they talk.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. But I also think it's because that's how we feel, and we can have wrong feelings. And I think that's the biggest difference.
What's wrong, though? If you feel it.
No, I mean,
like, you don't have
somebody
to
might
like
cut
it.
you off in traffic, and you might think the worst possible thing for that car, and then 3 seconds later you go, it was just upset in the moment. Don't people like get out of? Don't people like? They don't get life in jail for murdering somebody because they had moments of rage.
You know what that's from?
No, temporary insanity.
Temporary insanity.
You know what that?
That's what comedy is.
From?
Temporary insanity. This is my crazy thought in the moment, and then I'm gonna say it again, and it's gonna be funny, but I don't feel that way anymore. Simple as that.
What are you saying?
Comedy's temporary insanity. My funniest moment, my funniest thought, and my knee-jerk reaction to something, and I'm gonna craft it and add words and add ideas and wrap myself around it.
No.
What?
Yeah, like,
Marijuana might not be for you.
What you say right
We
now?
went.
Nope.
You were trying to defend some insufferable position.
Nope.
Yo, the joke about the woman food thing.
He didn't say.
I don't think you should
He
actually
didn't say
treat.
it was a wrong position. He said it was insufferable.
No, that's a great word.
It's a very
You
specific
can
word.
throw people off your trail. And it's like covering your tracks with
Insufferable
leaves.
means
It's crafty.
it
It's
sucks.
crafty.
It doesn't mean it's wrong.
It's a good word.
It means it's shitty.
It's a solid word if you're trying to be deceptive. If you know, trying to obfuscate, whatever.
Obfuscate. Hey, somebody got a high score on his SATs.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it, dude. Let's just make the jokes. Who gives a fuck what anybody says about it? If they want to write think pieces, who gives a fuck?
Maybe
Well, the
Bo
thing
Burnham
is,
makes
it's
a
like they
hilarious sketch.
represent a valid group of humans who have their opinions. But the problem is if they try to impose those opinions on people who have different opinions. So there's some people who love shit-talking comedy.
Yes.
That's what we do.
Yes.
All right? If you want to pretend that everything I have to say I always mean, I'm checking out. I'm not interested in doing that.
Yeah.
I want to talk the same way I talk around my friends.
Yeah.
I want to talk the same way I talk around comics.
Yeah.
We know we're all having fun and talking shit. And I want to do that to the moment they say, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Rogan, hey, what's up? I want to talk to those people like I talk to my best friends. I want to develop bits that are as funny as I can make them. And I don't mean all the things I'm saying, but I'm gonna hit you with the best shit I have.
Funny is in the outcast. Whether that's like the person on a TV show that's weird or the thought that's a thought that should get you outcasted on stage.
Like Kinnison.
Yeah.
He's the ultimate outcast.
Yeah.
Right? Wearing a beret and a trench coat.
Yelling at you.
Screaming, used to be a preacher. What the fuck happened to this guy?
Yeah.
Ultimate outcast.
Right.
What fucking class of people does he fit into? He's out of the Christians. He's gone. Like, where's he fitting in? Hollywood? He's like 5'4". He's fat as fuck. He wears a beret.
Yeah.
He's got a trench coat on. But when that dude would get on stage, you'd be like, whoa, what is this, a new kind of comedy? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And all the people that have ever like completely ignited a completely different style of comedy, he's my number one.
Really?
Yeah, man, because out of nowhere, he's doing this wild, screaming, yelling, like passionate preacher comedy.
Yeah.
He was doing a fucking tent revival preacher comedy.
Right.
That's what he did.
He was one of
used to be
Rock's favorites, which kind of makes sense.
Dude.
Because they're both essentially preaching.
Yes. But Rock, he's one of Rock's favorites because Rock saw him in like the 86, 88 era. I saw him in 88. I got to saw him. 88 he was on the slide. And this is as a lifelong, diehard Sam Kinison fan. I'm not saying this in any disrespect. I think he's one of the greatest of all time. But I think you have to judge comics as like the highest RPMs that they achieve. Just the same way you have to judge fighters. Like people say, who's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time in boxing? I say Mike Tyson. Because Mike Tyson during his day was a fucking destroyer.
Yeah.
And maybe it only lasted a few years, but he's the guy who comes to mind for me because I grew up during the era where Mike Tyson was the executioner.
Yep.
So I feel like that about like almost everything. Like almost everything has to be judged by the eras in which it happened. Don't you think that's the case?
Yeah.
And for my money, Sam Kinison during that era was just a fucking new thing. Nobody had seen anything like that. There's this guy with a fucking trench coat and a beret, and he's screaming about going to hell and how Satan's gonna be like, oh, you've been married? Oh, this is normal to you. We'll show you the place where we torture souls.
Yeah.
You know, like he had this thing where he would scream at the audience.
Yeah.
I've been married twice. Hell would be like Club Med. He was this fat guy screaming. Hell would be like Club Med.
Med,
I've been married twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like no one had seen anything like it.
Yeah.
And he had like knowledge of the Bible.
That's yeah.
He would do like biblical knowledge in the middle of bits.
It's like if Bill Hicks was funny.
Oh my God! Shut your mouth. I saw Bill Hicks murder.
Really?
Murder. I
The
saw
whole
Bill Hicks
audience
bomb
commit
too.
suicide because
I
they
saw
got
him
for
bomb.
45 minutes of his set.
You don't like Bill Hicks?
I hate that guy. Dude.
Really?
Maybe I hate his fans, but like people that still walk around like Bill Hicks was the greatest. It's like, come on, bro.
I'll tell you
Stop
what.
pretending you like
Listen
this
to
in
me, man.
2020.
There was a fucking green room at the Punchline in Atlanta, and it had everyone graffitied all over the walls. And in one part it said, "Quit trying to be Hicks."
Yeah, he had.
And it's true because he made you feel like you were doing something stupid. You were so jealous of him, and so I was lucky. I got a chance to see him when I was an open micer, so I was just starting out, and I saw him twice. And one time he murdered, and one time he bombed.
How was the bomb?
I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. And me and Greg Fitzsimmons and a couple other comics, I don't think are doing it anymore. We're on the back of Nick's Comedy Stop, and he went on after a dude who was a very regionally funny, like middle act, very, obvious premises, but did a good job. Had a good set. And Bill Hicks ate cock. He ate cock for the majority of his set. And people were just getting up and leaving. And while he was doing this bit about, it was some bit about someone taking a shit. So he's in the middle of taking a shit. I forget exactly, I don't want to butcher it. In the middle of taking a shit, he's like, He looks up, he goes, this usually clears a room. and people are like leaving in droves. It's like a 300-person room. By the end of it, there's maybe 50 people and maybe 10 comedians. And we're fucking crying, laughing.
Yeah.
And he never looked phased. He never looked phased. And we were howling. And we weren't howling ironically. We were howling because the shit was funny.
Yeah.
It was just so dark.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. It was like some of his stuff was so funny. It was different than any other kind of comedy. So it was like comedy from a dude who recently did mushrooms and was reevaluating everything. And that was like pretty much what was actually going on with Bill.
Yeah.
And then he quit doing drugs and he just dedicated himself to like getting like messages out in comedy. And the problem is back then, no one had a fucking podcast, man. So you had to be funny. And if you had something that you felt like people needed to know about it, you had to figure out how to put that into comedy.
Yeah.
It's too complicated.
Yeah.
It makes people preachy.
That's okay. That's what I heard. Then.
Yeah.
So I do. In
But
fact,
doesn't
know.
that
Go ahead.
happen to comics as they get better, as they get more famous, as they get more successful? They become more preachy.
Watch Louis C.K. He's not preachy.
Yeah, Louis is
Dave Chappelle is not preachy. Dave Chappelle is expressive. He wants you to know exactly how he feels about things. But he's the biggest comic alive. He's not preachy.
Yeah, I think a bit.
I hate that noise.
What do you think?
He's trying to express himself in the most honest and compassionate way possible. He's a beautiful person. No. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Like, genuinely always nice.
Yeah.
Very rarely angry at any. Even if he's mad at someone who's trying to ruin his career, he'll have a joke or two about it. And they'll be like, bah! And then everyone's laughing. Have you seen Jamie Foxx's impression?
So good.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
We talked about this. Is Jamie the most talented entertainer?
Maybe
alive?
ever.
Maybe ever.
Maybe
Like,
ever.
Yeah.
Impressions.
Yeah.
Singing. He can play the
Athletic.
piano.
Yes.
Wait, I didn't know.
Dude, he played
that's right.
high school
played
quarterback.
ball. You
Yes.
were saying
Any
that's
given
right. That's
Sunday.
right.
No,
Yeah,
Jamie
that's right.
Foxx can do anything. He's one of those people that can literally do anything.
Yeah, here's the
You
impression.
want to run it back?
Yeah, run it back because it's so preposterous.
Ran up on stage. I was incensed.
I was incensed.
Pow, nigga.
Come on.
Thank you for Jamie Foxx. If you're ever in trouble, Jamie Foxx will show up with a sheriff hat. And all the other comedians just stood there. They're waiting on me to die. So they can take over.
Even the
I'll see you, Chris
physicality.
Rock.
Everything.
I see you, Chris Rock. I mean, that's if you blindfolded me, I'd go, oh, that's Dave Chappelle. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Now,
What am I,
Dave's just
stupid?
Yeah, Dave's
Who's
just
that?
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. It's preposterous.
Yeah, I want the Jamie Foxx documentary. He's just done everything. Like, his life is so fascinating.
You know what? I think his work speaks for itself.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't need a documentary.
Oh,
But that
do.
dude,
I'm
I need that
25.
dude. I don't want to interrupt. Keep going.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want to do. I want to see how he plays Mike Tyson. He's going to play Mike Tyson.
Oh, that's crazy.
I bet it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
He does an amazing Mike Tyson impression.
Yeah.
And he also is of that age who grew up during the time when Mike Tyson was the dominator.
Yeah.
So he knows what that really was like. It's like you're not recreating that. We experienced that.
Yeah.
You know,
why do you think-
Mike Tyson fought Bruce Seldon? Bruce Seldon looked like a comic book superhero, and you could see the fear in his eyes when he fought Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson just looking at you like there is not a chance in the world that you're gonna survive.
Oh, hells yeah. We got
we go.
pizza, bro.
Oh, Dove.
What do we got?
What a legend,
I gotta
bro.
pee again. It
I
looks
have
like a
one,
lot of fun
Alex?
if you hate your body.
Come on, son. Like, really? Before take this.
Yeah, it's not fun if you're a fat ass.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I wish I could have some.
No, I love my body.
I would, if I was hungry
I'll take
and I
a
didn't
slice,
have dinner reservations.
Let me get a
I
plate.
would fucking eat the shit out of that pizza.
Joe, we got to wrap this up, bro.
Please let us. It's an honor to be here in the new studio.
Thank you so much for always
Yo, thank
supporting
you,
me.
man.
My pleasure.
People need to know you're a great guy.
God damn it.
They know you're great, but I don't think they know how great you are. I think it's very, very rare that people in your position are this benevolent. And I think that you set a tone that the rest of us try to follow.
Well, that's so nice of you, but I think it's good for everybody.
I know you think it's good for everybody, but I think that, like, if the guy on top is doing it and you don't do it, you're a piece of shit.
Right.
And I think that most people on top don't do it, and that's how they get to the top. And I think that's what was so profound about what happened with you is that everybody underneath you was like, no, I got to look out for my boys. I got to put them
Gotta
on. I
pay
got to
it
help
forward.
them build their thing. Exactly.
Yeah, they
And,
all took the same sort of strategy. but
Yes. Yes.
It was just the right path. It was just like I saw that path. You know, it was just the right path. It's not like a big deal in terms of what it really is what we should have been doing all along. But we were all like scratching and clawing to try to get Hollywood gigs. You know, and I think once the internet came along, it gave comedians this completely new network of everybody became an asset, not just like a competitor. But competitor is good. Like if you train at a jiu-jitsu gym, you want to train at a place that has black belts because you want to be able to get to a really high level and you want to know if your stuff is bullshit, right? So if you pull something off and you can pull it off on a purple belt, but the black belt keeps fucking it up, that might be bullshit.
Yep.
And you don't find that out. Like the same way with comedy. Comedy doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Yeah.
If you go to a place that doesn't have a comedy community, you never find the best comic in the world. They just, I
Yeah.
don't say never, but it's super rare if that's ever happened. I don't think it ever has. It's a fucking new art form, right? We are really clearly indebted to each other.
Yep.
And the only way to recognize that is to reach out to each other and to say it. And to just like express. I try to express it all the time when I'm in my green room before my shows. I'm like, we are so lucky. We're so lucky we could do this. This is the craziest thing in the world.
Says that all the time.
Beautiful. Gratitude is, it sounds like wooden beads and crystals, but it's fucking real.
Yeah.
That shit's real. Like, gratitude is real. It's like you're putting an energy out there that makes people feel good, and it makes people want to do the same.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
I just don't think we realize that until you.
Yeah,
Well-
I think that, I think that you made people, I think you guilted people into liking something. Like, I think you were doing it. So if somebody else didn't do it that was under you that maybe put them on, or somebody else was trying to emulate you, they're going, all right, well, Joe's doing it, I got to also do this. And then when somebody starts to do it, it's like the altruism kick in. There's a dopamine release for altruism. You help someone out, you start to feel good. And then you do that, and you're like, oh my God, I really enjoy doing this.
That's the thing that people need to realize. Like, being nice is great. Feels good. Feels good to everybody. When you make people feel good, you feel good too.
Yeah.
You know, it's good for all parties involved. It's not a selfish, one-way endeavor if someone gets success. It should be good for you too. You should be happy for them. And then they're happier. Like, you're happy and everyone's happy. And we can all like sort of like go through this weird thing together. Because we don't know what this is. You know, every day you wake up and you try to pretend like all of it makes sense. But you fucking shut your brain off every night and you go black for like 8 hours. You're gone in another dimension. And then you wake up in the morning and pretend that any of that shit makes any sense. All of it. We're so accustomed to going unconscious.
Yeah.
Literally having dreams. I had a dream that I was spearfishing in a fucking tunnel that was in a cave where there was Mayan artifacts. What the fuck is that? What is that? But it was vivid.
Yeah.
In the dream, it was vivid. It was like I could see the paint and the gold and red paint on these artifacts. I was like, this is wild. We're in a cave system.
Yeah.
Spearfishing. Wake up. Nope. Back in Texas.
And then you just go about your day.
Yeah,
like it didn't
back in my day, like I wasn't just living in another world.
Yeah.
And we're all going through this. This is craziness.
Yeah.
Are the aliens real or not?
Tell me, bro.
I don't know.
We're going to find out, though.
You know the first time we ever hung out? This is after we did the podcast.
Yeah, tell them.
We went out to dinner.
I don't think anybody knows about this.
They might not. You tell me, hey, what are you doing for dinner tonight after I do the pod? And I'm like, well, shit, I don't have any plans on my LA. He goes, well, come to dinner with me at the all-you-can-eat Brazilian restaurant? What's it called?
Fogo de Chao.
Fogo de Chao. He goes, come to Fogo de Chao. And when you type it, I don't even know what food we're eating. I got to Google it, right? It's like, okay, it's a Brazilian restaurant. So we go, and you're like, we're going to come with Bob. I go, okay, cool. And we go with Bob Lazar. This is the guy who was working on the UFOs.
Yeah, and I explained to you who he was because I wanted you to get a read on him. Yeah. Because I wanted you to decide whether or not you thought he was bullshit. This is a guy that was allegedly, according to him, he back-engineered alien spacecrafts at Area S4. Mm-hmm. It was a guy who worked for Lockheed Martin, and he claims that he worked on these UFOs. And we all went out to dinner.
Mm-hmm. Fogo de Chao.
And we're sitting there, and Andrew and I are cutting meat and eating and just talking.
I got my green light on. They keep coming around.
This guy.
Joe's like, put the fucking red light on. You had enough steak or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know the rules of Fogo de Chao yet.
You get a green card. It's the best fucking place ever if you love meat. You have a green card on one side, and it's red on the other side. And so when you want to keep that food rolling, you keep that green up. Yeah. But Andrew's, it's like fucking sausages are coming. He's taking chicken legs. Yeah. And I go, you got to flip it over if you got to tap out. They'll give you a break. Yeah. So you flip it over. It's a good system. So we're sitting there eating, and Bob Lazar is detailing to us shit that he couldn't even talk about on the podcast.
Wild.
And explaining like what they were trying
begrudgingly,
to do.
By the way.
Begrudgingly.
And that's what kind of convinced me. He was like, I don't care to argue about this or debate about this. Like, if you don't believe me, it's fine. I don't need to be here. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Remember he kept saying that?
Yeah.
And then he was like, this is what I experienced.
You gotta care a little bit. You dedicate your whole life to this shit.
No, he didn't dedicate his life. Like he was an engineer.
He was
right?
only there for a short period of time, and here's where it gets wild. Want to hear the whole story?
Yeah.
He had top secret clearance because he has to work on these crafts, allegedly, according to him. But because of that, they had to tap into his phones. They had to monitor all of his discussions. Like if he's selling information to the Russians, they got to. Okay, so during that time period, his wife is having an affair, and they kill his top secret clearance and suspend him during this time period, and with no explanation, because they think he'll be emotionally unstable, and you can't have a guy like that working on fucking UFOs. So they don't tell him, though. They don't tell him his wife is cheating on him. So he's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and he brings friends out into the mountains to view the launches of these UFOs, because they're on a very specific schedule, and he knows the schedule. So he takes these people out deep into the Nevada desert, which is now the area though he took people to. You can't even go there anymore. It's now off limits. But at the time, you can go there, and he was watching with his friends. They were filming these fucking things flying around in like these preposterous ways that no airplane could fly.
Did you see any of the videos?
I've seen it, but you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at lights. Like it could be anything.
That
It
was
could
the
be
Elon thing. I think, Elon
You-
said some shit like, why don't they have better camera footage of aliens?
Yeah.
Like
But they
everything.
do. He's not totally correct. The FLIR footage that they have from the Commander David Fravor had one of the most impactful UFO video encounters that's ever happened. It was off the coast of San Diego, and they found this thing that moved from 50,000 feet above sea level to 50 in less than a second. They don't know what it is. They have no idea what it was. But it was actively monitoring them because it blocked all of their tracking devices, which is technically an act of war, and then just fucking just took off, gone, and went back to their cat point, which is the place where they had like a designated spot where they're supposed to meet up during this mission. Because what they're doing with this mission is a training mission, and they had to dedicate. And that fucking UFO went to that spot. It's like, I know where you're going, bitch. Whoa! And then took off again and gone. Wow. And then when they relayed this to the Nimitz, he was explaining how the people that were working there were like, we see these things like every couple of weeks. We have no idea what the fuck it is. We don't know what.
So you're 100% convinced UFOs?
I'm not, because it could be a drone that they don't tell those people about. It could be something that the government's working on. It could be
a different government or something.
Most likely us. See, the thing about communism is like like the way they do it over there is like /communism/capitalism. Maybe that works, but a lot of what they do is they steal a lot of intellectual property from the United States. It's one of the problems. There's not a problem with United States stealing intellectual property from China, as far as I know. It doesn't make the news, but they banned Huawei. The reason why they banned Huawei
the
is
cell phone company, right?
The company that they make modems as well. They make many things, but they found like enough of an indication that they were suspicious. There's some back doors in order to get data. So if you're using like Huawei devices and you have some like super secure network that's developing nuclear weapons or whatever the fuck you're doing, they would get all that data. And there's like, hey,
chill the fuck out.
Hey. You know, we're in this weird time where we're only like a decade or so away from nothing being a secret, ever.
What do you mean?
There will be no more secrets. You'll be able to read minds. You're coming to a place where language is probably going to be universal, and you're going to be able to communicate with people that are nowhere near you using the power of your thought.
This is the Neuralink.
This is many of these technologies they're developing. If you had to think about where it's going to go, that's where it's going to go.
That's one guy I talked to. He said that's the end point of AI. That's where it's all headed. We're all in one consciousness.
Well, it might be. You gave me a broken glass, you cocksuckers. I almost caught myself. I would have died.
Wow.
If you, please.
The Russians.
Please.
It was too much.
It's no big deal.
You drink out of this end.
I drink out of that end.
There you go.
I drink out of right this part. Come on. What were we just talking about?
The Russians.
Group consciousness.
No,
Collective
group
Consciousness and singularity.
What they're looking for. Don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all that, bro.
Come on, bro.
Yo, half of it missed the
What's the problem, bro?
It's just water.
Andrew's fingers and
The ashtray, you know?
I want to state for the record that most of this podcast is nonsense.
Yeah.
I would say 100%.
Yeah, it's 100%.
We like to be safe and just go 100%.
100%
It's all
nonsense.
comedy.
Yeah.
If asked, I stand by none of my claims.
No, this is all scripted. This is a scripted podcast, and this is for your...
This is a parody.
Exactly. Okay, but with the...
Of 5 dudes drunk.
With the UFO shit, right?
4. They're out there.
They're out there, bro. Say it. You believe it.
No, the thing is, I don't believe it because I don't know for sure. But if I had a guess, I would have to say most likely they're out there because there's not enough options. Like if you had to think that this is the most unique circumstance ever in the history of the universe, the problem with that is the universe is too big.
Yeah.
So it's so big that everything that's ever existed, including everything that's ever happened on Earth in the exact same order, has happened an infinite number of times. Like you have to understand what infinity means. It's too big for anybody to understand. So are there aliens? Of course. There's not just aliens out there. You're out there. You're not just out there once. You're out there an impossible number of times, and you're doing life all kinds of different ways.
Yeah.
The number of people that live exactly the same as you have, with every pause, every mistake, every success, all of it is exactly the same. It's infinite. That's how big the universe is.
Then there's also one that's the opposite.
Yeah,
It's everything.
failures, disgrace, everything, falling apart, murder, suicide, all of it. Probably every single iteration of human beings.
Vegan you out there, Joe. And that motherfucker's still
That's where
living
you
off.
cross the line.
Yeah, I just wonder, man.
If you watched a moose stomp a person to death, you think you could eat that moose?
Joe, I'll suck the moose's dick and I'm good, bro. I don't know what you don't understand about me. That I'm apex predator. This mouth.
Well,
This mouth is
that's-
a predator, dog.
Take some mushrooms out, guys.
You need something like a massage or something. Something therapeutic, like a yoga class. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
It's this married life, Joe. It's this married life.
Well, listen. I'm gonna end this bitch.
Listen, we love you, bro. We
I love
appreciate
too.
you.
I appreciate you guys, and I'm very, very happy that there's so many of us out there. You know, this is an interesting time because none of us would have ever had a show like this, or like any of the shows that we do, if it was up to gatekeepers.
That's true.
It wouldn't happen.
Yep.
They would have never said yes.
That's true.
They would have never left you alone. Like some of the shit that you say, you know, like they would never let you alone.
100%.
There's no way. And the only way to do this is to do it this way.
Yes.
You got to just kind of...
And we are very grateful for you because of this.
Well, listen, I'm grateful that it exists. And, you know, I
Do you
just
remember
happen
Sal's
to be...
Comedy Corner?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
I remember
Comedy
that
Hole?
place.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Comedy Hole, I think.
That's when I knew something was happening with you.
With me?
Like you were doing shows there, right? Like you would have like a live show or something there. And there was this little place off Melrose or something like that, right? And like...
show.
This is like live, like stand up, but like this is when you were maybe not working at the store or something.
I was banned from the store.
Banned from the store, but you were like selling out these shows because of the podcast, and I heard that, and I was like, wait a minute, like something is going on here. There are people who can't sell out shows at comedy clubs, and they're giving away tickets, and this guy's doing a comedy show. It was a restaurant/comedy club, and
I don't
people
think
were
I had a
showing the fuck
podcast
up.
back then.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because the podcast was 2009, and maybe that was 2009, maybe. But I was banned from the store in 2007.
I thought it was off. I thought it was off podcast because I was like, "There's something happening with community
Man,
here."
your whole
No,
fucking
no,
life.
no,
is
no,
I
shared
really
right
thought it was
now.
off podcast.
No, you might be. You might be
Keep
right. You
thinking
might be
that
right.
shit,
I'm not.
because
I think I was right, bro.
I don't know the timeline, but the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it might be right. It's hard to say. It's like, but that time era, like Sal's Comedy Hole was a good one. The Ice House was a big one. That was our real like safety rap.
Such a fun club, dude.
Great club.
Yeah.
Great club. Is that back open again?
I don't know. I haven't been in LA since.
The Ice House. The Ice House was our spot. And the haha, we did the haha a lot,
Yeah.
and did the improv a lot. You know.
Anyway, I just remember that happening, and I remember saying like, "Oh shit! Like you could create your own community, and people want this. They want this distraction. They want the comedy. They want the conversation, and I don't have to do these shows on MTV or whatever fucking networks I was working on." I remember seeing that, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, something's happening right here."
Well, you do create your own community, but what you do is just find other people that are doing the same stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
And just everybody's creating their own community. You just like have you join.
Yeah.
You join together. It's like no one person really does it. And if it's your responsibility, if you're the person that's at like you're further along in your career or further along in the weirdness of the path and in terms of like the amount of people that are following you, it's your obligation. You have to bring everybody along.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
Yeah.
We don't need that anymore. Those sitcoms are ruining your horrible jokes. You can't tell terrible jokes if you want to get a sitcom.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of fucking trolls out there that'll get you fired.
Yeah.
And they'll take away your livelihood.
Right.
Okay, then before you leave, like, what is your...
Who are you looking at?
You. What is your... That's shifty. What is your recommendation for... How do we do for New York what you did for LA and then...
You're doing it already, man. You're already doing it. What you're doing here is perfect. This is a perfect example, a perfect like expression of you and of you guys, of everybody that works here. It's like you're doing it, and you're doing it with your stand-up. You're doing it with your specials. Just keep doing it, and it'll get better, and you'll find, like smoother ways to do it. You're gonna continue this weird path that we're all on. Like, I feel like I get better at doing podcasts every day. I feel like every time I do it, I get a little bit better. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just think that we can define ourselves in like a confining way for no reason. We just say, well, about as good as I ever gonna get at this. But that's not really true. Like, you can get better. And I still fuck up. Like, sometimes I'll talk over someone, I'm like, fuck. Like, I didn't want to. Like, it just blurted out. I'm like, control, settle down. Like, try to figure out how to get the most out of this person. Yeah. And it just gets better all the time. And it's like everything else you do. It's the amount of energy you put into it, the amount of focus you put into it. And if you put a lot into it, you can get better at it. As long as you're alive. As long as you're alive and you're healthy, put a lot into it.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Yes. Get in here, you vegan. Dirty vegan.
You're the fucking man. Thank you so much, brother.
My pleasure, brother. I appreciate you
Do you
very
have some
much.
shows you'd like to promote?
No, we're good.
Joe Rogan podcast. Check it out.
Yeah. I'm in Vegas.
Joe's a real
July
nigga right
1st.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Doug.
Appreciate you
Thank
too.
you. Thank you.
You guys are very important to me. Like, all you guys coming up, it's super important to me. It's beautiful. It means a lot. It feels good. It's nice. It's like there's a whole fucking savage crew of like really good comics coming up right now.
Respect.
And they're doing real comedy, and it's heartwarming. For me, when I watch you, when I watch Shane Gillis, Norman, and there's so many of these guys that are coming up. Tim Dillon. There's so many of these guys that are coming up. I'm like, God damn, Tony Hinchcliffe. This is a great time.
Yeah.
This is a great time for real comedy. And Ari Shaffir said it best. He said, this is the best thing because comedy is dangerous now. Comedy,
I agree.
One more time, is dangerous again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want there to be a time where you can't say things.
Yeah.
Because that's when we're fun.
Can't's a weird word.
When you're not
Stop it.
supposed to say things.
Yeah. You can't do that. Crush. You can't do that. You can't tell people what they can't say.
Right.
The problem is most of the people that tell you that
I
you
tried
can't
to stop
say
the
things.
podcast. Joe's going. I just want to point this out.
Yeah,
go.
it's a good
Tell them what
point.
you can't say, Joe.
The problem with people, the people that want to tell people what they can't say, almost all of them are a mess.
What do you mean?
There's no amazing examples of people who want to tell you what you can't say. There's no examples. When you look at that person, you go, they're kind and compassionate and they're charitable and they're beautiful. They always look at the bright side of things. There's no examples.
They're just angry.
What about Amy Schumer?
Oh, you son of a bitch! What are you trying to do, Akaash?
Couldn't even get through.
Get us in trouble! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be here. Here's Bob with the weather.